not be super familiar with. I think his Rumble play in particular has been really stellar as of late, as well as you can see that at the top there. But yeah, Bwipo is such a cool component of this FlyQuest roster because he can play standard champs and then he can throw out some weird stuff.
Yeah, and even like what happened earlier this week versus Lion when he was playing the Rumble versus Galio matchup. A lot of people, of course, like historically play like last 2 years the Galio into the Rumble, but he just like solo killed or like completely won the lane and pushed him off lane off of the laning, like the laning phase itself. So he's an incredible laner. He has like a bunch of stuff in his bag. I'm looking at somebody else that is also incredibly good in the early game. The 2 Sejuani games that he had last week were so great, he won a Player of the Week.
Player of the Week!
So,
he's also leading player of the game. See, I think he's in sole possession at 3 wins so far.
Yeah. So still the Western GOAT. So it's going to be a tough opponent for Dignitas, of course.
Yeah, he said Blabber was his GOAT. Blabber yesterday said, Inspired, maybe he's an NA GOAT, but he's still more EU in his heart. So we'll see. Maybe like one more split. By the end of the year, I think he'll be the NA GOAT.
And then weirdly flying under the radar is Quad, right? And the only reason he's flying under the radar is because we kind of brought up Bwipo's spiciness and then Inspired's ability to control the entire map. But Quad has been phenomenal. There's a reason why Saint was looking at his mid lane opponents this week and being like, Quad is absolutely the scariest.
All right, because of Inspired, according to him.
Also, yes. We're still not sure where he's going with the jungle diff comment. Yeah.
But a reminder with FlyQuest, they're not only playing apparently for Bucio's life. We'll get updates on that again later. But the Cat Quest, quick update on that. Shout out to FlyQuest trying to get cats adopted. We're getting close, I think. Actually, we've already passed a couple.
This means that we can get Inspired to meow in an interview.
Oh, hopefully that happens today. And one more, we get the FlyQuest cat takeover. I don't know what that means. I hope it means cats in the studio. But I can't promise that to anybody because I actually have no idea.
Well, now you set an expectation, so good luck with that.
That was a great
the cat ears on stage, so hoping
I
for
like
90.
that.
Oh.
90 sounds great.
But it better be they have to wear it during the game.
Yeah, you have to continue to have it during the game.
But that's our thoughts on the matchup and excitement for FlyQuest. How many cats can they get adopted? But now it's ready to toss it over to game number 1.
Welcome back to the LTA. It's the final day of our Super Week here at the Riot Games Arena, and all our teams have just one game left to play in the positioning phase. After that, we head back to best of threes and fearless drafts starting next Saturday as Split 2 moves forward. We start today off with FlyQuest, fresh off their first loss of the split, looking to get right back to their winning ways against a Dignitas roster that just locked in their first win yesterday. Then, Lion gets one last chance to beat a top 4 team. The only problem? It's Cloud9, and they've had an amazing Super Week performance so far, beating FlyQuest yesterday and setting themselves to secure first place in positioning phase with a win here. After that, Disguise's last chance at a best of 1 isn't going to be an easy one. They're up against Split 1 winners Team Liquid, and the DSG fellas are going to need to step it up to challenge the boys in blue. And finally, we finish Super Week with 100 Thieves versus Shopify. 100's had some shaky early games this week, but they've still found ways to bounce back. Can Shopify solve the puzzle and get ahead and close out? That's what we're going to find out here today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is a Monday afternoon. We are here on Super Week, adding an extra day to the schedule to make sure we get these best of 1s resolved and get everybody in those positions locked and loaded for Fearless next week. I'm Captain Flowers, that's Azael, this is the LTA, and it's time for FlyQuest versus Dig.
I feel like your shirt was kind of coordinating with the background.
Yeah, it kind of worked.
It kind of worked.
Half
It
green,
did.
half yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what kind of coordination we can get in the draft here as FlyQuest off to a very, very heavy solo lane focus here in the bans with Yone, Gwen, and Rumble banned out. Casio, Rise, and Varus, the bans from Dignitas, locking in Vi first here for FlyQuest. I would tell you how surprised I am, Azael, but it's just it's 0 at this point. Yeah. She's in every single game.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's getting first pick pretty much every single time. Talia is up, and that's often been getting picked away after the Vi gets grabbed, but this time it is not done by Dignitas. So we'll be interested to see if Quad would want to go for Talia to try to have that combo. Because right now it is just the Azir, the Sejuani. It's all scaling there for Kaney and Shaden.
Now, on the Dignitas side, yesterday, they got their first win. We mentioned it in the intro. They took down Disguise to get that done. And I think that Shaden was a big part of that win that Dignitas was able to secure. Although today's mission is decidedly more difficult, jungling up against Inspired, who has just been top-of-the-table jungler here in North America for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, you're ramping up the difficulty in literally every single position, right? Yeah. So it is going to be a much bigger ask. That being said, even before their win yesterday, Dig has been close against all of the other top 4 teams. They actually had a pretty good lead on Saturday against 100 Thieves. In previous weeks, they actually were up in gold around 30 minutes against both FlyQuest and C9. So they have had games where they have been quite close to actually at least being like, they were close to winning in as far as like they weren't one push away, but they were competitive in those games against some really tough teams. So we'll see if they can make that happen here today. It is a Karma being grabbed up on 3. So to me then, it's going to be probably an Ezreal ban or something along those lines for FlyQuest. Varus was obviously banned out this time by Dig. That's the only reason it's not picked in the first 3. But I'm looking at Karma as a pairing with some of these kind of poke champs, maybe like Ashe and Ezreal.
What about
that
Caitlyn?
Type of thing? Caitlyn could also really work as well, because generally that is the answer into Kalista, especially Kalista Renata. Renata does not deal well with poke. Renata really excels against hard engage style champions, so that's why people like to go for these range picks. And it's also why, even though Kalista is really high priority, it only really gets let through when teams have a plan to answer it, and that's why its win rate isn't really that stellar.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong combo, specifically with Renata like you're talking about, but it does seem like every single time it's let through, the answer is always going to be some very powerful, oppressive in-lane duo. Yeah. That's why I think you're right on the money, expecting something with a lot of range, the ability to try to punish this, and kind of just remove the extra edge that the team drafting Kalista wants to get for themselves.
And that's what FlyQuest thinks as well. They banned out the Ezreal, as I was saying, so it's going to be curious to see if they are really worried, particularly about like Ashe or Caitlyn or anything like that, or if they're just going to be throwing a ban elsewhere. On the other side, the 2 classic pairings with the Vi from mid lane are both going to be getting banned out, as the Talia is removed, as is the Ahri. So not going to be able to grab that for Quad in that second phase, and we're just waiting for that final band. It is Caitlyn. So Ashe still something that could be available if you want. There you go. You know, it was going to be kind of one of those. So it is Ashe. Those are the 3 that we mentioned. These are the obvious pairings to me. And so 2 of them get banned. That means you're giving up the other. So it is going to be Ashe and Karma that they have to deal with. Really strong laners. Definitely can poke you, can stay out of range. But that being said, if you can find that hard engage, if you can get in on top of them, they are vulnerable.
Okay, so back over on FlyQuest side, the Sylas is going to get locked in. Immediately, one thing I'm noticing, he has 2 massive glacial ultis to steal away to try to start up these fights or follow it up with CC once we start getting into the team fights against the Sejuani, against the Ashe. And man, this FlyQuest comp, they are built to go in.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense because when you don't have an engaged support, you want secondary engaged somewhere else. You don't want it to just be your Vi going in on her own.
Yeah.
So it is going to be Sion. That gives even more of an ability to kind of fly in there.
It's full send.
Exactly. It is absolutely full send here. It is going to be Aatrox over on the other side. So a couple good ultis to steal. You're mainly looking at Azir, Sejuani, and Ashe as the key ultimates that Sylas will be looking to steal. Surdy is definitely going to have the advantage in that top lane 1v1. Aatrox pretty difficult for tanks to deal with. You have a lot of sustain. You have a lot of consistent damage. You can get the advantage and try to run over these matchups. But that being said, Sion, one of the safest tanks in the top lane 1v1. All your abilities deal AoE damage. You can clear out the waves. You can ult back the lane if you're really in trouble. You're difficult to dive because then you go zombie form and you pick up all those minions anyway. He's hard to punish, so I don't expect Bwipo to get way down. But it's going to be an interesting game. You know, and the more I think about the AD bans, I think it makes more sense to ban out the Caitlyn and the Ezreal than the Ashe because you know, the Ashe is the one with the least safety. There's no dash in the kit, right? There's no 90 caliber net or you know, shift or anything like that. So if they do get in on top of the Ashe, the only chance you have to escape actually here is going to be that flash, which makes things a lot more difficult.
And of course, she will have the Karma next to her. We know the power of the shields and the speed ups from the different supportive abilities that she can bring can give that little extra bit of peeling potential. But that's why I like just how everything on FlyQuest is built to dive in to go for this threat. Karma might be able to peel off one threat, maybe even two, but the whole team dogpiling in is a much different situation. And Dignitas is going to need every bit of that momentum that they started to build yesterday to have a chance against FlyQuest here. Because even though FlyQuest lost, I think that their loss yesterday was one of the most exciting matches, if not the most exciting match we've had here in LTA all year. Like, that had some really great fights in it, lots of things coming right down to the wire, and you know that FlyQuest does not want to be dropping another game here at the very final hour to Dig.
Absolutely, and I mean, if they win here and C9 drops, then it doesn't matter if they lose the head-to-head because they have an additional win over Cloud9, right? So they could still be playing for that first place in the positioning phase, so definitely need to make sure that you are getting it done. But this is how Kalista has done in 2025 in the LTA North, 0-6. But look at the pick ban, 97%, almost never goes through. That is because it is pretty much getting perma-banned. When it goes through, like I said, it's because the teams have a plan to deal with it. So we will see how Masu and Busio can do. To be fair, it's also not usually the top teams that are always going to be getting it through, right? So sometimes the records can be a little bit misleading. Although this split, it has actually been top teams that have gone through with it. It's been Yon playing it twice and FBI playing it once. And then the other 3 games would have been last split.
I always do find those stats interesting when you look at characters that have a massive pick ban, but most of it is ban. Because a lot of the times, I think you're absolutely right. It only gets through when one team is like, no, we beat these guys no matter what. We'll let them take it. We'll see what our practice against it, what our read against it feels like. But yeah, not the case here. Masu and Busio being one of those top bot lane duos in the league. I'm expecting them to be able to have quite a large amount of efficacy with this bottom lane duo. We know how fearsome Kalista and Renata can be. If they get ahead in the game, it becomes so difficult to try to engage on them. Renata can peel for Kalista so well. Kalista can save Renata from anything. And also just having Kalista against Ashe, you went back and talked about how, oh yeah, I like banning the Ezreal and the Caitlyn because of the Ashe's mobility. Ashe's big strength in being able to set up a pick, maybe just take out that squishy support so easily, is nullified by Kalista's Fate's Call.
Yeah, absolutely. It does make things a lot more difficult. And then, of course, if Masu gets tagged, he is playing Cleanse. That being said, you know, while Renata obviously going to be nice against the Aatrox, going to be nice against, you know, Shaden on the Sejuani, when you look at kind of this bot side 3 of Ashe, Azir, and Karma, it is all very low commitment as far as getting damage out, right? You know, you're throwing out mantra Qs, you're throwing out volleys, your longer auto attack range, the soldier range is pretty far as well. And that makes things very difficult for Masu, you know, in these later game stages. So we'll see how he's going to be able to handle that, as Busio was moving out to sweep that ward. Inspired's clearing top to bot, so they're just trying to put that little threat of that Vi gank coming in, and we could see that Bwipo was doing very well in that 1v1 up on top side. Of course, hasn't forced out the potion yet from Surdy, but is getting some nice trades and did have the push, but he is playing weak side, so has to be careful now, as when you're shoving that wave and you kind of have it in this neutral state that top lane is, where it's not quite crashed to the tower, you have to then really be aware that Sejuani could be up here, so if you overextend, you could be in trouble, and that's why he's just kind of sitting back and only CSing from range right now, knowing there is a possibility Sejuani could come.
And going back to what we talked about in draft a little bit here, is Busio lands the handshake onto Isles, but the tether in retaliation makes it a trade that still favors Dignitas overall. I really want to see what Shaden can do in this game, because I think that when you look across the board at each individual role matchup, FlyQuest has the advantage pretty much everywhere. So that means Dignitas can't be expecting to win fair fights reasonably, right? So Shaden's got to make those fights unfair, and I think that he's really going to need to be dialed in to be able to find those angles up against a jungler like Inspired, whose pathing normally seems so effective, whose decisions are normally such high value.
It's also interesting here because Shaden, you know, he cleared brought to top, whereas Inspired did the opposite, but then Shaden crossed back over to go towards bottom scuttle. So that to me, you know, was thinking, okay, maybe he assumed that it was going to be Inspired going for top scuttle, but Inspired, I think, did spot him on that ward, so he should have the CS count and should know that top scuttle is up, and that means he's going to go straight to it. He counts the CS, he knows that's available, so now as a result, Inspired will double scuttle. So nicely done by him. Shaden with a bit of a guess, or maybe just wanting to play towards that bot, expecting they would have prio, ends up not getting either of the scuttles. So it is that slight advantage Bwipo, though, TPing in very aggressively, and that's an Ashe and a Karma. They can slow you down, and I think he's giving over first blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of sticking power between these two kids with the slows. The lockup, Bwipo can still walk away from it, though. It's calculated. He's fine. Doesn't even have to spend the flash, but Isles and Tomo do have total control over this bottom wave that they're about to crash into the turret.
Yeah, and the question is, can he actually stay and farm this wave now, right? You know, great, he didn't die. That is definitely nice, but at the same time, look at all these waves coming up. This is going to be a triple stacked wave. You do not want to give all of that up. And if you sit there and you go, okay, time to charge up a Q and get some minions, you're going to get a Mantra Q to the face. You're going to be tanking that damage. So we'll see how much Bwipo can tank up. Does have the Soul Furnace available, so he's able to pretty much fully absorb that. And looks like he is going to be healthy enough to at least grab the cannon, grab the melees, and we'll see if he wants to actually try to step forward for the range ones, which are generally the more difficult to grab.
Yeah, nicely done from Bwipo there. Isles and Tomo, unfortunately, not getting a meaningful punish on that aggressive teleport that we saw. Bwipo still with the flash. His health bar continuing to climb back up from where it was. Just the natural regeneration of the character combined with the
I'm not
D-shield.
familiar with the game.
It's the Bwipo game plan, man. Play aggressively, get in their face, and honestly, no punish from Dignitas means that that was the right call to make. Bwipo can get that wave fully cleared out. Isles with a bit of a greedy recall position, now going to have his own recall interrupted, as Bwipo is just honestly flexing on these guys in a 1v2.
Tomo had to cancel his recall twice as well, so they're actually losing a lot of tempo off that. And to be fair, you know, obviously Ashe had not yet based, so he TP'd down there. He did have a chain vest. You're just fighting against that Doran's Blade and the World Atlas on Isles, so they don't have a lot of damage in the kit. And because he twice delayed their recalls, now no one is actually going to be there to actually catch these minions down on bot side. They're not swapping Surdy over. He's not TPing down to catch this wave or anything like that. So it's just Tomo heading down towards bot. That means not only does Bwipo get everything, he denies pretty much an entire wave to that bot lane in the 1v2 situation.
And not just the wave you're denying any chance of Dignitas being able to have their bot lane duo up towards the top half of the map if they wanted to ever try to contest the grubs. I was watching a little bit of Audieland's stream the other day when he was going back over one of Lion's games and just talking about the consequences of having people even somewhat late on a rotation and how that can have these compounding, snowballing effects on the upcoming decisions you're trying to make, and it affects everybody across the map. So Dignitas, they'll at least be able to trade the neutral objectives, go for the first dragon themselves. The Ocean Drake, obviously one of the more valuable ones early on, being able to give some extra regeneration for that lane sustainability. But now it's Isles up top here, trying to make sure that Masu and Busio can't really put the pressure on Surdy, who's down below half HP as this wave is about to crash.
Yeah, you can see Masu, his record on Kalista. While we did touch in on the fact that it hasn't done so well in the LTA North this year, Masu, career-wide, has done very well on it. Of course, generally they win a lot. He's on FlyQuest. They've been doing well pretty much his entire time with the team, but he is a very good Kalista player. And Bwipo, now you can see this is kind of that problem again, because he crashed the wave. Not only do you deny those minions from Tomo, but it also means then the wave stacks and pushes towards your opponent, so Bwipo then has more to farm. So as a result, you're going to have that CS advantage in both bot and top lane. And Bwipo definitely getting the maximum out of this. And you can see he already has that early longsword. So I'm going to be interested to see, you know, where he's going. I'm assuming it's just going to be back towards the Titanic that we saw last time, which not only gives you really good wave clear, but does give you very high burst.
Yeah.
You actually scale quite well. Obviously, with the HP that you're getting from Soul Furnace, that gives more damage to your Titanic. You also do well with the AD scaling on your Q and your ult. So, you know, it is quite a powerful buy. And some people really are a fan of going, you know, items like Sterix and Titanic and these kind of more bruisery aggressive items on Sion.
Ooh, Tomo having to flash there as Inspired showed up. If that Decimate connects, it's so easy for Inspired to go Vault Breaker into the ultimate, into just instant dead on the Ashe. There was no way that Isles would have been able to save him. So nice blowing of the summoner spell there. And you know what that means is that now Bwipo's got that big powerful Sion ulti that we're talking about as one of the things that you can get some extra value out of if you have the AD, right? You just collide with the guy into the full decimating smash, into the Titanic once you have it or whatever. But man, this is going to be so frustrating, it feels like, because Dignitas just haven't found any way to deal with just Bwipo doing whatever he wants in his bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was really surprised that they didn't kind of swap back in that position where Surdy had TP, and Dignitas' bot lane based. I thought that they would go top and match and then TP Surdy down to catch that wave that ended up getting denied to the tower, because both of the matchups feel worse on the Dignitas side, right? It's like you have Ashe Karma, you want to bully this Renata and Kalista, and on the other side, you have this Aatrox that's supposed to be a good pick. That was your 5th pick counter pick into the Sion, and as a result, both of them are kind of losing out and not getting to have the laning phases that they wanted. Bwipo even took a plate down bot, and he's the one in the 1v2, so things are looking tough.
Aatrox is down almost 20 CS, and now Inspired sitting on a control ward. Oh man, this is going to be so nasty. If Isles and Tomo step up just even a little bit. Okay, Isles already in some danger here as Masu's ready with the Fade's call. Isles is the target, trying to get himself away. Flashes over the wall, but it ain't going to matter. The Rend gets it done. First blood over to FlyQuest.
Nicely done by Masu there. You know, I think a lot of people would have thought that was a play that was just completely over because he was out of range of the Rend, but Masu flashes closer to the wall there to be able to get back in range for the Rend, gets that first blood. Well played by FlyQuest. And peep the build from Bwipo here. He has the Tunneler, so he's going aggressive, but he already grabbed an Executioners. So he's grabbed the heel cut. He's just saying, you know what, Surdy, we're gonna scrap. Like I got my chainmail. My duties as a tank are now complete. I spent my 800 gold. Now it's time to beat this guy down.
And I actually really like going for the Executioner specifically versus something like the Bramble Vest as well, just because Bramble Vest requires the other guy to stab you.
And a lot of times, Bramble Vest sucks.
Yes, also Bramble Vest sucks. Look, I was trying to be a little bit more polite about it, but if we're just going to go ahead and be direct, yes, I don't like Bramble Vest. But it can't apply the Grievous Wounds aggressively. Bwipo wants to play aggressively, and I don't blame him for it, as Dignitas will now move towards this second set of grubs. They were not there to challenge for the first set, and they know that FlyQuest used some ultimates in the top side fight to find that first pick on Isles. FlyQuest undeterred, ready to keep the fight going. Masu in some danger. He gets shuffled back, but the cleanse is going to keep him safe for now. They've locked up Shaden, focusing down the Sejuani, and Masu gets the kill. He hasn't died yet, and now finally going to get taken down as Kaney gets the kill there. Busio barely gets away, and the feat of warfare is claimed as the Azir finally falls. Isles takes a blast cone back behind enemy lines, but Bwipo's chasing Tomo down. One more hit will do it, and Bwipo gets the fourth one of the game for FlyQuest. Isles is trapped between two turrets, and he don't want to be there no more. It's a 5-1 game. It's a slaughter for FlyQuest.
Yeah, FlyQuest get everything there. Take down all 4 Dignitas members. Yeah, Bwipo is down in the bot lane, but he is Scion. He's going to be able to get up there. Surdy stays bot because he has no TP, so he grabs a couple plates. That's nice for him, but at the end of the day, it's not going to really matter as things going really rough now here for Dignitas. And I'm not even sure what happened with the bailout there from Busio. I'm kind of curious if we watch that replay again, where that bailout did go, because I never saw it actually pop up on Masu, so I'm not sure if he was under enough pressure that he had to use the bailout on himself, or if it was just a misclick or something.
Let's see.
Because I feel like it could have gone potentially even worse for Dignitas. So Kaney goes in here. He knows there's no flash on Masu, so flash in, does land the ulti, scoops him right back into the ulti there from Shaden. Masu getting quite low here at this point. This is where I was expecting bailout to come out. I see the bailout, I think it was on Inspire or something? I thought I saw the graphic there, but I didn't actually ever see it come out on Masu, so it's not like it got used aggressively there. I think it was maybe just like a misclick.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened to it either. I was really trying to pay attention, but I didn't see the little
I think I saw the graphic for it
thing
under like a pile of champions. I think it did get used because I saw the little kind of like orbs that are spinning around you when you do these bailout.
Ooh, Inspired now immediately re-engaging back onto Kaney, who wanted to try to find a pick onto the FlyQuest jungler, but Inspired flashing away defensively to keep himself in a good enough spot as Kaney is now overextended and Surdy's made his way into the fight, but Quad has already killed Kaney, and now Shaden is low, but the rest of Dignitas are ready to strike back. Busio dies next, and Tomo's taking the kill. Masu will try to hop, skip, and jump away, but there's no bailout for that. A double kill back to the Ash, and Dignitas comes to life.
Nicely done. This time it's Dignitas' turn to make the TP play because Bwipo has no teleport and he still doesn't have the ulti. He's up towards topside, so Surdy makes it happen with the teleport. He got paid from the plates on that last play, and this time he's able to join up and get Tomo paid. Well, Bwipo is going to be the one getting a lot of plates up on that top side. So Bwipo has gotten plates in bot, in mid, and top, so he's going to be very rich. But Dignitas, this was an important play for them. They're going here for Inspired. Notice Inspired, the timing as the passive E is going to get activated. He immunes it with the ult, goes in onto Kaney. They do arrive, but as Masu is coming up here, look at Tomo. He's free firing on the enemy ADC the entire time. Tomo is never really threatened, and even though Kaney goes in, it's a beautiful Q flash there from Surdy. Gets in, they take down Busio as the bailout was used onto Masu, and then Masu is just going to get slowed down, chased down, bailout expires, nowhere to go. They grab another onto him.
And now Kaney dropping the ulti to get away from Bwipo. Nobody wants this Scion anywhere near them. Bwipo, despite the fact that he has been building aggressively, it's still Scion. He's still so tanky and hard to deal with. 639 HP already earned from Soul Furnace. He's scaling up, man.
I will say, though, his first item is going to be super delayed because he has Executioners, a Chain Vest, a Tunneler, and Swifties.
Garage sale.
Yeah, and none of those combine into like anything else.
Come on, man. You don't want to combine a Tunneler with your Swiftness boots? Get a little bit of Grievous Wounds in there?
You start digging underground. It's a new upgraded boot.
Stuff the Cookie in there, too. He's got a couple of those still sitting in the inventory. But
shoe cookie.
Looks like we've got, there you go, Feats of Warfare claimed for FlyQuest. Now it's extra swift Swifty boots as they lock in that bonus move speed reward for themselves. 2,500 gold lead, 3 kills ahead, 5 grubs to 1. The one thing Dignitas is really winning in here is their dragon count. They got those first 2. They've set themselves up in a spot where maybe they can try to put a little pressure on if they can secure Soul Point here in the next, 3.5 minutes by getting that one. But it's a tall ask.
It definitely is. But at the same time, they are down only that 2K, so we'll see what they're going to be able to get done here.
Yeah, this is a problem for Surdy. Inspired and Quad just putting the work in on the Aatrox, but a lot of healing. Q3 connects onto Inspired there, gives Surdy that extra burst of healing that's still not enough. Inspired takes the kill.
And nicely done. Going to be able to get that. It is a 3,000 gold lead now, and Quad going to be able to grab the tower off the back of it. So definitely things getting worse here for Dignitas. We'll see if they can find a way to either get some picks or just kind of slow down the pace of the game a little bit here to get Kaney and Tomo some time to scale up.
Yeah, man, 3,500, 16 minutes into the game. Very tough stuff. Rift Herald spawning now, too. And with the way that FlyQuest likes to play aggressive when they've got these early leads, when they've got Bwipo on a champ like this Scion that can join fights so easily, you know that they're not going to allow Dignitas to try to come anywhere near it. This Rift Herald looks to be the next play already as FlyQuest are moving up towards that topside river, but they did just have the resets from Quad and Inspired, making their way back out on the map, moving towards that top half. Bwipo's making the move here. Choo-choo! Here comes Scion, but he does not find the collision there with Tomo, who's made his way back underneath the tier 1 turret. Stays safe for now. Bwipo just trying to see if he could force anything out there, but Dignitas playing patient enough to keep themselves in a good spot. It does cost ulti for ulti as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is used to keep Tomo safe after Bwipo charged in. Surdy and Isles running after the Scion now. Surdy wanting to really try to put some extra damage onto this guy, but Bwipo is not the target you want to be focusing on early, so Surdy will take his exit with the Umbral Dash over the wall.
Yep, going to be able to hop out over the wall, and Bwipo has the Titanic completed now, so he is very strong. You can see massive lead in top, massive lead in jungle as well, pretty much mirroring the advantages they do have up there. So going to be feeling really good about it and going to be able to grab this Herald now, likely uncontested, as there's just no one really from Dignitas in the area.
No.
You can see that Shaden's down on the bot side trying to hover behind Kaney to see, okay, can we actually overload one side of the map, look for a play? Kaney's just going to deny as many minions as he can, and then we'll take this tower. But because it's Bwipo that's down there to answer, there's not even any point in trying to actually make a 2v1 play, so they're just going to take their small advantage there while Bwipo farms up a jungle camp and accept that it is that trade of Herald for the turret. And hopefully Kaney can continue to accelerate his gold as he has that second mask, going to be working towards a Riftmaker, and we'll see where he goes from there.
Okay, 3-7 for Dignitas. They've found a couple of good moments there, being able to get a couple of kills early. They got the one on Masu that we talked about, might have been just more of an error from the bailout, not finding the right target. But the play afterwards where Surdy was joining through the use of the teleport while Bwipo was mining plates, I feel like that's what we have to see more of from Dig here. We need to see them find fights that are not fair, because a fair fight on a 3,500 gold deficit 18 minutes into the game is not it.
No, it's definitely going to be really tough. And Kaney's job is just so important in this game because there's no MR at all on Bwipo. So he is really going to be the one that has to deal with him mostly. And he is pretty strong right now. He's the only one on Dignitas that does have any sort of a gold lead. So we'll see if they can find a play. They do have pretty good playmaking, but one of the things that is tough about it is they're so reliant on CC for their hard engage, and Busio, as he often does, rush to Mikhail's. And I just think this item is so criminally underrated.
So good.
So often you see people in these situations just go like Moonstone or whatever, and I feel like against this kind of composition, it just completely denies their win condition, right? Now you have Cleanse, now you have Kalista Ultimate, now you have Mikhail's. You have so many ways to answer it, let alone Bwipo just blocking it, not being killable, that it's so difficult to see how Dignitas find that perfect engage to really be able to get a kill.
And there it is, the stopping of the Drake stack, the third one of the game, now claimed by FlyQuest, so Dignitas still just sitting on the 2. And it feels like with that, Dig are now kind of in the spot where your only option is positive mental attitude and scale, right? Try not to lose any more than you already have. Yep, teamwork and friendship, heart of the cards, just get it a little bit later in the game, and hopefully Azir and Ashe can get to the point where they can find something here. Because the problem is that front line on FlyQuest, the Sion, the Vi, those are the biggest individual gold leads this game. Inspired and Bwipo are totally unafraid to just full send this into the middle of Dignitas' entire squad if they need to, because they know the Quad and Moss will be able to follow up with the damage.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think that Azir and Ashe can actually deal with that front line, and he would be able to kill them off eventually. But the problem is, it's not like you're just going to be sitting there and free firing. You're going to have a super fed Vi flying at your face and a Sylas flying at your face, and there's going to be a hostile takeover coming over everyone as well. So it does make it so difficult for them to actually have the time to stack lethal tempo and get that damage out. They are now both on 2 items, so they are real threats, but it's just going to be very tough, I think, for Dignitas to create enough space for them to actually be able to stand and fire long enough to kill that front line.
All right, so we got Otacon on the board. Nobody's going for him here just yet, but sometimes when teams get a little bit desperate, you can see them, kind of YOLO it a little bit more than they might otherwise want to. It is one thing that I worry a bit about sometimes for a lot of our teams is the disrespect towards Otacon and his resistance shredding. Even if a team is ahead in a spot like FlyQuest and they try to start it up but don't have the damage, it can end up becoming a really big, liability for them as they try to complete that objective. So nobody's going to begin it just yet, but you can see Dignitas have a lot of men in that area. Looks like those recalls going to be channeled now as they recognize FlyQuest isn't going for it.
Yeah, I mean, not even just the resistance shredding, but the actual damage it does itself. Dignitas, specifically, against 100 Thieves the other day, they tried to go, when they were in the lead, for this Otacon take. And Shaden was basically just watching where the approaching 100 Thieves members were instead of actually dodging the abilities. He was playing the Fury in that game. He got down to 10% HP before the fight actually broke out, just from tanking these abilities. And this is not just like a dunk on Shaden thing. You see this consistently in pro across every single league. When they have these contested Otacon fights, people are so focused on where the engage is going to come from, who they need to be watching for, that they stop watching Otacon and the abilities, and you will get absolutely crushed by Otacon if you are not dodging the spins, if you're not dodging the orbs coming out. Just does a ton of damage.
Yeah, and nobody's starting him still, but it is FlyQuest with control over that pit, placing down the vision, clearing out anything from Dignitas, at least just making it scary for Dig to contemplate, well, what if they are there? As Quad steps forward into the enemy jungle here, does get stunned up a little bit by Shaden, but honestly, it's not a ton.
Heartsteel
Inspired and Busio both nearby. Yeah, Heartsteel feels good, sounds good, is good. But now we've got Masu ready to drive here into the Rift Herald. Where is he driving it? Okay, it's turning around. Had to just make a sharp left there as they look to take down the tier 1 turret. Inspired going right back in, looking for Kaney. A little bit more damage, gets it done. And Masu takes him out. Now with all those spears in Shaden, he's looking to find a second. There's not enough damage to do it, but FlyQuest already got what they came for. A kill on the mid laner, a kill on the mid lane turret, and a kill on the tier 2 to boot. FlyQuest get everything in mid.
Yeah, Kaney tried to basically time it there because Masu hopped in the Rift Herald. So I think Kaney's thought process was, as Masu hits the Rift Herald in the tower, he'll get popped out, and then I will time my Azir ultimate to instantly knock him back in. We'll kill Masu. That's how we'll come back. Makes sense as a plan. Unfortunately, the timing here was on point. The location was not. Masu popped out just to the right of that Azir wall. Had he gotten scooped in, I think it's actually a really good look. I respect the attempt there from Dignitas, but Masu did not pop out in the center of the lane. He popped out on that far right side, and we can see in the pivot that they took the Otacon right thereafter. As soon as that Azir ult did miss, that really was the end of the fight. And when you get all of the roses there from Otacon, you can see 45, 48, 54. It's just flying up over 60 now.
Versus 16
it's
on
like
Dignitas' side.
It's just still going up. So they have a lot at this point. And so they're going to have a pretty big XP advantage now, because it does give you not only the extra AD AP, but it is going to be a lot of experience. So 46 at the end of the day, they are feeling really good about that. I mean, you look across the board, it's like, a level and a half for Inspired. It's a full level for Bwipo. It's at least a level and a half, almost 2 levels in mid lane. Masu's got almost a full level. Support has half a level, whatever. But it's like that experience advantage is really big, and that is not showing itself in the gold lead. But of course, it is going to display itself in the fights.
FlyQuest's jungler is higher EXP value than Dignitas' mid laner. That is the reality of the situation for Dig as they try to run back through their own jungle without getting caught by FlyQuest. Bwipo wanted to see if he could block off that escape route, but not quite fast enough to get there in time. Thing is, though, this map is now completely choked away from Dignitas. It feels like they cannot go anywhere without FlyQuest just being ready to answer the challenge and say, okay, no, you can't come here, otherwise you have to fight. And immediately, Dignitas does not want to take those fights. Kaney jumps back over the wall to try to get away from Whippo. Isles does not have the same luxury, forced to flash in order to guarantee his own life, and FlyQuest will waste no time. They'll immediately turn their attention back down over to the bottom lane, and another Tier 2 turret. They already got that next Drake. The Tier 2 going to bring that gold lead back up to over 5,000. It had been reduced from what it was earlier because Surdy claimed the Tier 1 up in the top lane, but now with the TPs coming in from FlyQuest, they want to try to stop him before he can get away. Surdy not going to complete the recall, goes up into the river, but Quad is waiting. World Ender for a little bit of extra speed might give Surdy a better chance of getting away from this. Inspired, Q's over the wall the wrong way, but it don't matter. He's still got the ulti. Quad goes on a killing spree. Surdy goes home in a body bag, and FlyQuest just doesn't stop.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised because it's hard to know, right? We see everything. We're going to see if Quad is in trouble here.
I don't know if he is, my friend. Tomo might have got the arrow on him, but Quad is just immediately ready to turn the fight right back onto the Dignitas AD carry. The shield from Karma keeps Tomo alive a little bit longer, but Quad is on a rampage, and Shaden has to flash out too. Isles already used his flash earlier, and there's no way home. A double kill for the Silas. They thought they had him caught, but he turns it right back around.
Yeah, not even in trouble at the end of the day, and FlyQuest's going to be able to go right back to the Baron. You know, we have the God's Eye view, so we get to see everything. I feel like Surdy could have just finished his recall, but of course he sees that blue trinket come down. He doesn't know how close they are to actually being able to stop. You know, maybe he could have even tried to TP, but instead he tries to run. He gets picked, and it kind of just starts that chain of events. As Bwipo up topside does not care about anything that they are doing to him right now. Has Ending Despair, so does have some of that magic resist in now as well. They grab the Baron. Now it's time to just clean up the additional jungle camps here, extend the lead even further. They've got 2 dragons. They've got the Baron buff. They've got an 8.6k gold lead. And those items are coming through here now. The zone is even done for Quad. You can see third item down there for Masu is completed. A dead man's finished now for Bwipo. So they all have 3 items. And you're looking across, no one yet has that for Dignitas. It's really hard to see how they'd hold.
I think don't do it, no?
Well, 35 seconds now, just start, no?
It's still in open.
Wait, Ashe waste ulti, guys. Come,
No flash, Ash. No flash, no flash, no flash, no flash. Help him, help him.
That's a free goal.
Keep fighting more if we can. Keep fighting more if you see angle.
Oh,
Sejuani just queued in, Masu.
I'd queue. Maybe I'm in range. Let's go. Karma no flash, by the way. She's
yeah, Sejuani no Q yet. Go Nash. And Bwipo, you defend bot, fast.
I will.
Really good comms there, honestly, from FlyQuest. Very clear. As Bwipo, they're going to look for him.
Yeah, they get the shuffle on him. Flash away from the Scion. Bwipo still trying to get away from this. Turns the ulti back around the other direction, and Quad's ready to jump in. Tomo's the one who's truly in danger again, as he's caught up, and Busio ends up taking the kill. Quad dodging away from some of the aggro here with the stasis. There's your Zhonya's Hourglass power spike we're talking about as Surdy goes after Masu. The bailout's not even needed. Dig tried, Dig died. FlyQuest going straight for the heart of the base as the bottom lane and mid lane inhibitors both fall 14-3, and they're on to the Nexus turrets. The first one's down. Isles is running back into the fountain. This one's done. FlyQuest takes the dub.
Today
Nice.
really good.
Yeah.
Nicely done by FlyQuest, able to get a clean win there. A lot of credit to Bwipo, I think, deserved by this one for all of the pressure he was able to put on, even in the 1v2 bot. The swap that they pulled off there worked out so well for the team. They had Aatrox locked in this 2v1 where he was struggling. They had Bwipo in a 1v2 where he was thriving, and things looked really good from there for FlyQuest. Dignitas, unfortunately, will end the positioning phase without a win against those top 4 teams. They did have their moments in all of their matches against them, but at the end of the day, couldn't close the deal, and FlyQuest are going to come out on top.
Another win for FlyQuest. Reminder to all y'all, LTA North Twitch subs are back. Join the community for exclusive content, including the League of Legends in-game emote, Tell Me Everything, for paid and gifted subs. Plus, get access to all of our exclusive LTA North emotes, like Gigaflowers, that one's mine, or Azale Nodders, which is...
There's a light inside your eyes. You make me feel like I'm awake. I don't know why you make me shine like a star in the sky. I'm okay. I wanna take a breath. I'm falling in love.
of the split.
Yeah, I'm.
So I don't think that they're
A lot of those.
Gonna be able to, and that makes things very difficult for
Still with the flash.
obviously with things are looking tough.
Aatrox is down almost 20 CS, and now
Things are looking tough.
Aatrox is down almost 20 CS, and now Inspired sitting on a control ward. Oh man, this is going to be so nasty. If Isles and Tomo step up just even a little bit. Okay, Isles already in some danger here as Masu's ready with the Fade's call. Isles is the target, trying to get himself away. Flashes over the wall, but it ain't going to matter. The Rend gets it done. First blood over to FlyQuest.
Nicely done by Masu there. You know, I think a lot of people would have thought that was a play that was just completely over because he was out of range of the Rend, but Masu flashes closer to the wall there to be able to get back in range for the Rend, gets that first blood. Well played by FlyQuest. And peep the build from Bwipo here. He has the Tunneler, so he's going aggressive, but he already grabbed an Executioners. So he's grabbed the heal cut. He's just saying, you know what, Surdy, we're gonna scrap. Like I got my chainmail. My duties as a tank are now complete. I spent my 800 gold. Now it's time to beat this guy down.
And I actually really like going for the Executioners specifically versus something like the Bramble Vest as well, just because Bramble Vest requires the other guy to stab you.
And
a lot of times,
Bramble Vest sucks.
Yes, also Bramble Vest sucks. Look, I was trying to be a little bit more polite about it, but if we're just going to go ahead and be direct, yes, I don't like Bramble Vest. But it can't apply the Grievous Wounds aggressively. Bwipo wants to play aggressively, and I don't blame him for it, as Dignitas will now move towards this second set of grubs. They were not there to challenge for the first set, and they know that FlyQuest used some ultimates in the top side fight to find that first pick on Isles. FlyQuest undeterred, ready to keep the fight going. Masu in some danger. He gets shuffled back, but the cleanse is going to keep him safe for now. They've locked up Shaden, focusing down the Sejuani, and Masu gets the kill. He hasn't died yet, and now finally going to get taken down as Kaney gets the kill there. Busio barely gets away, and the feat of warfare is claimed as the Azir finally falls. Isles takes a blast cone back behind enemy lines, but Bwipo's chasing Tomo down. One more hit will do it, and Bwipo gets the fourth one of the game for FlyQuest. Isles is trapped between two turrets, and he don't want to be there no more. It's a 5-1 game. It's a slaughter for FlyQuest.
Yeah, FlyQuest get everything there. Take down all 4 Dignitas members. Yeah, Bwipo is down in the bot lane, but he is Scion. He's going to be able to get up there. Surdy stays bot because he has no TP, so he grabs a couple plates. That's nice for him, but at the end of the day, it's not going to really matter as things going really rough now here for Dignitas. And I'm not even sure what happened with the bailout there from Busio. I'm kind of curious if we watch that replay again, where that bailout did go, because I never saw it actually pop up on Masu, so I'm not sure if he was under enough pressure that he had to use the bailout on himself, or if it was just a misclick or something.
Let's see.
Because I feel like it could have gone potentially even worse for Dignitas. So Kaney goes in here. He knows there's no flash on Masu, so flash in, does land the ulti, scoops him right back into the ulti there from Shaden. Masu getting quite low here at this point. And this is where I was expecting bailout to come out. I see the bailout, I think it was on Inspire or something? I thought I saw the graphic there, but I didn't actually ever see it come out on Masu, so it's not like it got used aggressively there. I think it was maybe just like a misclick.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened to it either. I was really trying to pay attention, but I didn't see the little
I think I saw the graphic for it
thing
under like a pile of champions. I think it did get used because I saw the little kind of like orbs that are spinning around you when you do these bailout.
Ooh, Inspired now immediately re-engaging back onto Kaney, who wanted to try to find a pick onto the FlyQuest jungler, but Inspired flashing away defensively to keep himself in a good enough spot as Kaney is now overextended and Surdy's made his way into the fight, but Quad has already killed Kaney, and now Shaden is low, but the rest of Dignitas are ready to strike back. Busio dies next, and Tomo's taking the kill. Masu will try to hop, skip, and jump away, but there's no bailout for that. A double kill back to the Ash, and Dignitas comes to life.
Nicely done. This time it's Dignitas' turn to make the TP play because Bwipo has no teleport and he still doesn't have the ulti. He's up towards topside, so Surdy makes it happen with the teleport. He got paid from the plates on that last play, and this time he's able.
nền tảng hưởng ngay 2 triệu. Bóng quay trở lại dành cho các đội bên phía Girona. Trong mặt ông TRspodC thì cũng chả vui lắm đâu. Làm gì đây? Ây da, cơ hội này đưa bóng vào. Rồi, Adrian thậm chí là bắt bóng bằng một tay luôn nữa chứ. Bắt bóng bằng một tay luôn á nè. Dạ màn con ngàn. Donny van der Beek dạt qua đây rồi mà anh em. Thành đây cánh phải này có người. Gọi là Girona, họ mua Donny van der Beek về để bổ sung đây. Bổ sung mang Donny van der Beek về để bổ sung cho cái chất lượng đội hình của mình ấy. Đội hình Girona mùa giải hôm nay họ đá khá là nhiều mặt trận mà cuối cùng thì chịu. Thực ra Van der Beek trong kiểu tôi không biết là vì sao nữa, nhưng mà dạo gần đây thì ít chấn thương anh em ạ. Ít chấn thương. Dạo gần đây thì không thấy chấn thương quá nhiều, chứ còn hồi trước thì chấn thương suốt. Cũng không chấn thương nhiều tới mức đó, nhưng mà gọi là cũng có chấn thương. Được gọi là với cái tần suất mà của cậu ra sân, của cậu đã ít được ra sân rồi, của cậu đá dở, của cậu còn chấn thương nữa. Khổ thiệt á. Bóng quay trở lại dành cho các thủ bên phía Girona. Ngày Girona mùa trước đá kiểu gì bay qua top 4, đá C1 giờ trụ hàng mất tiêu quá. Thì đấy, tôi bảo với anh em rồi, việc họ chia được từ từ nha. Đây rồi, ui giời. Tôi bảo với anh em rồi mà. Việc mà họ phải đá, thứ nhất là họ phải đá quá nhiều mặt trận, thứ hai là họ mất trụ cột. Garcia cái thứ đi đâu mất tiêu rồi. Hồi trước là Big Garcia. Hồi đó là tôi coi Girona là có hai ông đó là tôi khá là ấn tượng. Đấy. Giờ đâu mất tiêu rồi. Mang về cái gì? Mang về Donny van der Beek, mang về Aben Ruiz, Brian Gill. Nhưng mà bài toán giải quyết nó không được bao nhiêu cả, khi mà đây toàn là những cái cầu thủ nó chưa được kiểm chứng ấy. Nó cũng không quá ngon. Đây rồi, đưa đi dứt điểm. Ui, suýt nữa thì danh cu cỏ. Xin rổ sáng mai á, tôi có đăng vào group rồi mà anh em. Tôi có đăng vào group rồi mà. Xin rổ thì không biết có xin hay không, nhưng mà anh em mình làm ở đây cũng khá lâu rồi bác Anh Quốc rồi, mình làm phải cả năm rồi đấy. Thật là tồi tệ khi mà bây giờ bác mới biết đến tôi đau lòng quá. Bóng vẫn còn dành cho phía Girona. Rồi, nãy vừa bảo lý do thứ nhất rồi đấy, lý do thứ hai là vì nó đang thi đấu quá nhiều. Mà nó đá C1 thì làm sao mà nó ăn được hả anh em? Thằng Girona đá C1 sao mà ăn? Mà cái việc mà thằng Girona ở mùa giải năm trước mà nó đá bay như thế là do những trận đầu nó thắng. Nên là nó có cái động lực. Nó xây từ từ, gọi là hành trình leo tháp ấy. Chứ còn mà đá C1 nó thua thì làm sao mà động lực đâu ra. Ui rồi, trao chân không? Việc đá quá nhiều đội hình, đá quá nhiều cái mặt trận, đội hình bị bào mỏng, thì việc mà họ xa lầy trong mùa giải năm này là quá hợp lý rồi, còn gì nữa. Đó là điều mà tôi sợ sẽ diễn ra với một trường hợp khác, đó là Nottingham Forest đấy nè. Nên là tôi đang muốn Aston Villa vào hơn. Đánh đầu, bóng đâu rồi. Và như vậy là đã có bàn thắng dành cho Girona. Tôi đã bảo gì? Girona họ sẽ có bàn thắng rồi. Kể từ thời điểm này, anh em nào đi nhảy và anh em nào đi vào Girona Handicap 12 là bây giờ có bàn thắng luôn. Một tình huống lộn xộn và cuối cùng thì Suani, người được đưa vào sân thay thế cho vị trí của ai ấy nhỉ? Danjuma, thì cũng đã có được bàn thắng cho riêng mình. Tỷ số là 1-3. Cá sấu đây này luôn 4-5 đến 1 thắng không. Đủ sống rồi. Khá hơn lương làm lập trình viên của tôi một tí. Pha này kiểu gì thì cũng phải có bàn thôi. Không có bàn thì cũng có bên. Và Batra là người đã bị hội đồng trong tình huống đá phạt góc vừa rồi. Rồi, công nhận bàn thắng cho họ thôi chứ còn gì nữa. Vãi cái 30-40. Barra cho rằng mình bị phạm lỗi, nhưng mà tôi nghĩ là sẽ không có gì đâu. Ơi từ từ nha. Rồi, bàn thắng sẽ được công nhận. Đúng không? Sao quay mặt? Quay mặt thầy vậy? Nhanh nhanh nha. Lại còn bây giờ lại còn ôm bóng à. Tôi khá khen cái tinh thần của Girona. Như vậy thì tỷ số sẽ là 1-3 dành cho cầu thủ phía đội chủ nhà. Phút thi đấu thứ 87. Mấy bạn nào bảo xin cái xiên rổ thì mình có đăng trong group rồi đấy bạn ạ. Bạn có thể vào đấy xem. Bạn còn ở đây không bây giờ? Máy hỏng. Batra trong pha bóng vừa rồi. Vừa vào kèo luôn rồi bác á. Vào luôn rồi hả? Vào luôn rồi hả? Là đi ghép xiên á hả? Bác đánh cái gì đấy? Gì nữa đây? Điều gì nữa đây? Suani và các đồng đội đang làm gì đấy? Thôi. Rồi như vậy là cuối cùng bàn thắng cũng đã được công nhận. Tôi không hiểu là tại sao mà Suani lại có thể phản ứng với trọng tài trong pha bóng vừa rồi.
TIểnP nền tảng
thưởng ngay 2 triệu
cho một bàn đấy thôi. Có khá nhiều những hàng ghế trống tại Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ít nhất thì bây giờ bầu không khí đã sôi sục trở lại rồi. Các cổ động viên của đội chủ nhà đã được thắp lên một niềm hy vọng, một tia hy vọng nhỏ nhoi về cơ hội có điểm ngày hôm nay. Thẻ vàng thuộc về captain của Nottingham Forest, đó là Ryan Yates. Anh có một động tác vật đối thủ rất to. Ui, lại còn thúc thêm quả đầu gối vào giữa mặt nữa. Kiểu xảo kinh ạ. Vật đối thủ ngã xuống rồi lại còn thúc cho quả đầu gối vào giữa mặt luôn. Cái ông Lucas Bergo này hơi hiền nên không thì... đâu với cả đang cần chắt chiu thời gian nên là phải cố gắng đứng dậy chứ nếu không là phải nằm sân rồi. Với cả hy vọng lại còn đòi thỏ đẻ hơi khó em ạ. Tầm này gà trống chắc là không ăn thẻ đỏ được đâu. Cái nhân tố sẽ ăn thẻ nhất đó là Romero thì đã rời sân rồi. Dứt điểm ngay. Cú đá không vượt qua được Murilo. Ui ôi, sau đó là một tình huống sút khán giả của Ben Davies. Sút quả vừa rồi có lẽ là cũng phải chết đôi con chim chứ. Ui, sút kìa. Cú đá đầu tiên của Matistel là rất căng, nhưng bóng không thể vượt qua được Murilo. Còn sau đó thì Ben Davies đã có một cú dứt điểm quá thiếu chính xác rồi. Huấn luyện viên Postecoglou hẳn đang rất sốt ruột. Ông đang chờ đợi vào một điều kỳ diệu với một bàn thắng dành cho Tottenham. Nhưng mà tôi nghĩ là chắc là không có thêm được bàn nữa đâu. Chắc để thêm chỉ một bàn danh dự thôi. Forest thả cho một quả mà. Thậm chí là trong hiệp 2 Forest không có bất cứ một điểm chạm nào trong vòng cấm địa của gà trống luôn. Họ gần như là phun thủ, tử thủ luôn. Thời gian thi đấu chính thức đã khép lại và bây giờ là 5 phút bù giờ. 5 phút dành cho những hy vọng nhỏ nhoi để giành được 1 điểm của Tottenham Hotspur. Và cũng là quãng thời gian mà Nottingham Forest phải tập trung cao độ để giữ vững 3 điểm, bảo toàn thành quả. Nguy hiểm. Có vẻ như trọng tài đã thổi phạt lỗi của TRspodC. Ông cho rằng vừa rồi thì TRspodC đã phạm lỗi với Nikola Milenkovic. Và bây giờ thì Milenkovic đang bắt đầu ngồi xuống sân. Tầm này thì có không đau thì cũng cố tỏ ra đau thôi. Một trận đấu mà TRspodC cũng đã chơi rất năng nổ và xông xáo. Và sau rất nhiều những nỗ lực dứt điểm của anh thì anh cũng đã có thể ghi bàn. Ít nhất là cũng không đến nỗi phế. Đội khách chuẩn bị có thêm một sự điều chỉnh. Ramon Sosa đã sẵn sàng. Gì vậy? Hình như là một thẻ vàng cho Marcel vì lỗi câu giờ chăng? Đúng rồi. Lỗi chậm đưa bóng vào cuộc và Marcel đã phải nhận một tấm váng đậu. Đó là tấm thẻ vàng thứ 4 ngày hôm nay. Mặc dù vậy thì vẫn chưa thể về được cái kèo tài thẻ từ đầu trận. Các cổ động viên của rừng không thịt đang chờ đợi vào tiếng còi mãn cuộc của trọng tài. Họ đang chờ đợi vào 3 điểm để giúp cho Nottingham Forest trở lại với top 3 và tiếp tục duy trì hy vọng để góp mặt tại Champions League mùa tới. Morgan Higuain là người rời sân để nhường chỗ cho Ramon Sosa. Morgan Higuain cũng đã chơi rất nổi bật ngày hôm nay với những tình huống cầm bóng và đột phá táo bạo của anh. Không ghi bàn hay là kiến tạo nhưng mà Morgan Higuain cũng đã chơi không tồi. Forest đang rất chờ đợi vào tấm vé trở lại với Champions League sau 25 năm. Và họ sẽ cần phải giành giật từng điểm số. Ngày hôm nay họ cũng đã thể hiện được quyết tâm của mình và đang rất gần với một chiến thắng. Đó là pha đánh đầu của Ramon Sosa, pha chạm bóng đầu tiên. Nhưng đó là một đường chuyền quá sâu. Lên bóng cho Spurs. Pedro Porro. À không, Brandon Johnson đã bị phạm lỗi. Người phạm lỗi là Harry Toffolo. Hay là Căng Innova. Anh em nào đánh tài thẻ 4.5 thì xin chúc mừng nhá. Về bờ rồi đấy. Đó đã là tấm thẻ vàng thứ 5 ngày hôm nay rồi. Sau pha phạm lỗi của Harry Toffolo và Brandon Johnson. Kể từ khi được góp mặt thì trận sút số 1 của gà trống cũng chưa thể được nhiều. Brandon Johnson chủ yếu giật cánh và cũng chưa có cơ hội luôn. Một quả đá phạt đem tới rất nhiều những hy vọng dành cho gà trống và cũng đem tới rất nhiều những sự lo lắng dành cho những cổ động viên của rừng không thịt. Đây sẽ là
North at the beginning of the season. People didn't have the exact same order, but every single person who did the power rankings here had C9, TL, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest in the top 4.
All right,
and,
Lions
haven't lost game yet.
Going to get stunned up there as he tries to fight back. Sven and Vulcan really just wanting to make the most out of this level 1 trading back and forth with the power of that Braum that you were talking about before, and they do get a good chunk.
Yep, Braum plus Guardian, you get that proc right off the bat, so that is going to feel really nice. They also use that power to get the red. Audi is going to try to cross to the other side and steal the enemy red very likely. He is going to be spotted on this ward, so I'm going to be interested to see what Blabber's response will be. For now, he's just going to be starting up on Raptors, so he literally is going Raptors to Raptors, crossing the map there, where Blabber did go red, blue, and he's just going to likely clear up towards topside. Would be interesting to see if he eventually drops camp, though, as it could be in trouble bot.
Yeah, Lions and Henna doing a good job making use of that power spike. Hitting level 2 first, getting the crash down on Vulcan right outside of the turret range for a nice punish.
Yeah, and that was just a little bit of disrespect, honestly, from the C9 bot lane, not respecting the fact that they are going to hit 2 there, that they can look for an engage and try to punish. Blabber will skip his wolves to try to get up towards the top side and defend his red, very likely. but is pinging over. So they may actually look to try to re-invade instead. They have Prio in mid, so yeah, they're just going to look for a re-invade now and maybe try to challenge at the enemy blue once again.
Yeah, Audi had the confidence to go in and get the Raptor camp back that Blabber stole away, but did not want to overstay and try to retake a red. So now
Audi's still level 2, by the way, at 3 minutes.
He's going to end up getting 4 buffed. He already lost his red. He's about to lose his blue. Blabber just took it. Audi tries to get through the wall there with the Ishtal impact, but Blabber's ready to just try to walk away. Saint wants to walk over to this. Blabber still with a flash available, dodges away from that upheaval. But yeah, that's 4 buffs in the first rotation for Blabber.
Yeah, and because Audi hadn't done any of those buffs, kind of those high XP camps, even though he was on a couple camps, he just hit level 3 after 3 minutes, right? So definitely way behind on where he wants to be for the clear. Blabber goes back towards his red and is going to be able to hit that and trying to tag the Krugs over the wall as well with the W. So is just going to keep that clear going here. You can see Exhaust going to get used on the overheat, and THANATOS just trying to get a good trade. But that's why you take Phase Rush in these situations. It's Phase Rush on both Saint and Licorice to be able to disengage when you get that slowdown. Whether it's the ulti slow or exhaust slow or whatever, you proc the Phase Rush, you just try to run out of there.
I always think Phase Rush is one of the most interesting keystones that they made because it's one that can completely change the way that matchups get played, right? Obviously, every keystone can do that in some way or another because they add more damage or make you stronger. But Phase Rush really changes the way that you can engage and play the fight.
I mean, it's way more game warping. THANATOS maybe went too far here.
THANATOS, okay.
That was close.
Yeah. That was a little dicey there for a second, but he's just playing around his limits. Both top laners down to only a couple hundred HP.
Yeah, THANATOS with no flash going back in there was definitely dicey because Licorice was overheated, got a lot of damage down there. But no, I mean, I fully agree with your point. At the end of the day, yeah, there's all these different runes that are slightly different, but it's like, okay, you have Comet, you have Airy, you have PTA, they all just electrocute.
I do more damage.
They all just do damage, but it's like, oh, but I do damage when I hit 3 times, or I do damage when I poke, or I do, it's all kind of the same. So I do think like Glacial Augment, Unsealed Spellbook that no one really plays, and as well as Phase Rush, those are the ones to me that are kind of the most unique and do kind of change how you play or your opponents play, which I think is fun.
Well, after THANATOS traded all the way down to the very limit of his health bar, he will now use his teleport to head to the bottom lane. You can see Licorice doing the same thing now. It's the classic 5-minute, 5.5-minute late swap, lane swap that we see these days, where the top laners will just take up that position while the bot lane duos head towards the top side. And that just tells me, Azael, everybody wants to fight for some grubs.
Yep, exactly. Everyone's going to be fighting for some grubs. I do think, especially when you're looking over at the C9 comp, that is really powerful if you do get these grubs. Tristana really good at pushing towers already. You're expecting Gwen to have prio inside lanes as the game continues. So C9 definitely will be looking to push. Audi is in the area.
Hey, Lions, good job there with the Shattering Strike into the crash down. Wants Vulcan, who throws up the shield to try to get himself away, while Saint is also being chased back in the mid lane. Flash away from Vulcan, flash away from Saint. Blabber follows up, takes him down. First blood over to Cloud9.
Yeah, both junglers make a gank happen, but it's only C9 that gets the kill. At the end of the day, they are able to take down Saint. And Loki doesn't even have to actually spend the flash. It's just Blabber that spends his flash to follow in. They are going to try to go up towards these grubs. Will Loki actually look to join here? Because for now, it's kind of just Blabber scrapping alone.
Looks like Loki is on his way over, as Blabber will secure the first grub, no problem. I mean, Audieland's still hanging around, but he's just heading back into the jungle now, keep farming up his camps, doesn't want to waste more time standing around hoping and praying for a grub that he can steal away on a bit of a fluke when Cloud9 had such control over the top side.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get all 3, so they get the kill and the gank. They get all 3 of those grubs, so Cloud9 going to be really happy about that run of play. Both top laners are now level 6, so we'll see how they want to play around that.
Sven jumping forward there with the aggressive rocket jump, wanting to get that explosive charge onto Henna, maintain control over this push and this top lane. I'm really paying attention to this exhaust cooldown on THANATOS because it's almost back up and ready to cast again. He is level 6, he's got the needlework, and I'm not sure how hard he's going to want to go for this.
Yeah, so Licorice did just proc the Phase Rush, so there is an opportunity now, but the question is THANATOS too low to look for the all-in? So that's kind of the trade-off there. You know, as Licorice, if you're going to go in and you're going to actually proc that Phase Rush, you have to be getting a really good trade, because if he's high health and you lose your Phase Rush, that may just trigger the all-in, right? He may just throw down the exhaust, hit you with the needlework, go straight for it. So Licorice is playing a little bit more carefully until that cooldown's back up.
Lions, nice shattering strike again, catching Vulcan too far forward and 2 turret shots into the Braum. He's a tanky guy, but that one's still going to result in a very nice trade for the Lions duo up there in the top side as Audieland secures the Scuttle Crab around the Dragon, since both teams were mostly committed to the top side, wanting to play for the Grubs, even though Lions were denied that opportunity. It means that nobody went for that early, so still a possibility to play for. As Audieland shows up bottom lane, he and Licorice may try to make the move here onto TRspodC. TRspodC impact brings Audi forward, but now Blabber's ready to follow it up. Beautiful counter-attack, and Lion are caught exactly where they don't want to be. 2 more kills over to Cloud9.
Yeah, that one hurts. They really wanted to try to slam the advantage home because Licorice was like almost a level and a half up in experience going into that dive. Of course, ton of XP grabbed from getting the wave, as well as those 2 kills. You can see Licorice still ahead in XP after that, but they wanted to try to get that kill there. He had a 20 CS advantage, he had a big XP advantage. If they get that dive off, it would work really, really well. But you're diving a Gwen under tower who has ult, who has the exhaust, who has the shroud, and unfortunately, who had Blabber coming over very quickly. He was able to get his AoE through pretty much both of them, it felt like, on most of the spells. So you can see at this point, Licorice was about to hit A here, and TRspodC is still, not even close to 7 yet. So he's cutting back, gets that 7 right there. And then as Blabber comes in, he's just able to kind of position himself to get the ulti as well as the snip zip through both of them over and over, and that one really hurts. You can see the kind of look a little bit of dismay on Audieland's faces.
It's frustrating for sure, right? But hey, credit to Blabber for having the awareness or the comms or whatever it was behind the scenes to know, hey, this is what they're going to do. Be ready. Counter punch is right there. Because I think you're right. If that does go the way that Lion wants it to go, if Licorice is in 2 levels ahead, the wave gets lost to the turret, TRspodC is down, you've got a real problem on that side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good look, but they just didn't know where Blabber was, and they couldn't actually execute on a clean dive. He was able to kite back, avoid getting stunned into the wall. I don't think that Audieland was able to actually even land an ult on him, until pretty much everything was already decided. So it is definitely a risky look, and sometimes you got to take those risks, but this one did not pay off at all. And you can see Blabber as well now. Heartseal already completed. He is very far ahead as far as the game is concerned.
Okay, now Vulcan and Sven, they're going all in for Henna, who immediately commits the flash. Does not want to give up any more of that health bar to the aggro. But topside, now TRspodC going in after Licorice, who flashes away to avoid that.
Yeah, and that is going to be nice. Audieland coming in, not going to quite have range here to catch Sven, who again has so much mobility on this Tristana and didn't even have to use the Buster Shot. You can see Blabber already over there with Loki working on the Dragon, and they're going to turn.
Yeah, they want to immediately use the Glacial Prison back into Audieland, but it is a very tanky jungler in the Skarner. Loki's ready to follow up with a bit more damage. Audieland about to die, but he still gets himself away for now. Blabber is burning, and Sven gets the kill on Audi. Now ready to go to Reset City as Henna tries to go in for the Killer Instinct, but the Acathian Rain does not rain hard enough. Lions with the flash over the wall to stay alive, but again, it's another scrap, another fight, another moment this game that only comes up C9.
And how frustrating is that? Look at the health bars. Everyone is so low. There's like 100, 200 health on multiple Cloud9 members, but Lion can't finish anyone off. And these plays really start to snowball. When one play goes bad, the next play you barely miss out on. If the first one had worked, you might have been strong enough to actually make the second one work, and then it's snowballing in your way. But that is the difficulty of League of Legends. C9 find the opportunity here, look to turn there onto Audi. He throws down the ult, but it is just on Blabber, and Sven and Loki are firing, and if both these AD carries are standing and firing, the fight is going to be really tough. A key Q there was nailed by Vulcan as he was stepping back onto Henna, and because they tagged that onto Henna, it allowed Sven to stay around, to get a bit more aggressive, to proc that Braum stun onto him, and to eventually be able to grab that kill. And now C9 right back up towards the top side, already onto the Grubs here. Licorice has no flash, has no ult, and I think there's just no way they can contest. And so far, you can see Blabber's definitely been getting the best of this matchup. Both these guys, though, so accomplished in their own right. 8 international performances here for Audi, 7 on the other side there for Blabber. You can see so many accolades within their own regions. Obviously, Audi, one of the most accomplished LATAM players of all time. Won a bunch of times there, and Blabber as well. Still the NA jungle GOAT in my mind. Yes, there may be some people you can argue have better current level of performance, but this guy has been so good for so long in the region that I do still think he maintains that title.
He's been a top performer for C9 for a very long time, and he's got 100% kill participation in this game now as well. 5-0 in kills for C9. TRspodC drops that exhaust on Licorice up here yet again, but once more, it's the phase rush, getting that rumble out of what could otherwise be very dangerous situation. Saint's in some trouble as Sven goes in, trying to get the angle there, has to try to rocket jump back away. The turret takes Sven and Vulcan both so incredibly low, but neither one of them is dead. Man. It's the same story time and time and time again. C9 getting away with murder, finally going to find a kill, you would have to think, as Loki falls to the killer instinct. It's finally a kill for Lion as Henna is on the board, but at the same time it was traded back across on the other side of the map as TRspodC gets one on Licorice. It's a 7-1 game.
Yeah, exactly. Blabber went up there. They get a kill up in top lane, and C9 looking so dominant this super week here. Definitely on pace to finish in first place. It's going to be a really tough comeback here from Lion. It is their last chance to try to get a win against the top 4 team. Sven gets behind Saint there, flashes away from Audi, knocks him back into the team with the buster shot for the alley-oop. They are able to get this kill, and again, Sven and Vulcan limp out, no health to speak of, but it just doesn't matter because you can't finish off the kills. And then meanwhile, on the top side, Blabber was spotted, but it just doesn't really matter because Licorice has no flash, and over the wall comes Blabber, nails the ulti. Licorice is able to throw down the equalizer to clear out the wave, but
yeah,
that's tough.
Back to live. We already got problems as Licorice is the target yet again. Blabber ready to go over the wall with the Arctic Assault. Sven joins back up with TRspodC and Vulcan. And with the reset on the rocket jump, he can keep the chase going on to Lions. A 2-man shattering strike ain't gonna matter because Sven just got another one. C9, 9-1 with 6 grubs. They're gonna knock down the first turret as well. They'll claim the feats of warfare with a 5,000 gold lead.
Yeah, they are crushing this game. It's only 14 minutes in, and they are just putting on a clinic right now. Saint is going to be able to trade a tower back up on that top side, but you can see all the plate gold that Cloud9 has been able to collect. Look where it went as well. It's all in Sven and Loki's pockets. Your double AD carry getting super fed. TRspodC, we know, off of that defended dive that Blabber helped him out on, got way ahead. We'll see if they can actually chase down and get a kill here. Licorice almost has his equalizer.
Yeah, TRspodC trying to use the Hallowed Mist to get away from this, but Licorice has flash forward, ready to full commit here with this fight. But TRspodC with a little bit of skip and slash action, getting away to the safety of Blabber. TRspodC will finally drop. If Lions didn't have the Shattering Strike right there, TRspodC actually drain tanks that out and lives, I would have to think. But Blabber is not done. Slides back over the wall, wants to keep playing inside the Lion jungle. A 1-for-1 trade for Lion is about the best they've got this whole game, but now it's not done yet. Henna tries to get away, but a nice Glacial Fissure there on Audiland stops him from going forward, looking to stop Sven. Another nice impale, this time onto the Cloud9 AD carry, but Blabber doing a good job stepping into the turret range first. That was huge from Blabber.
No way.
Now he and Sven get away with 50 HP. As soon as he saw Audiland start moving Sven closer to the turret, Blabber just walked in, said, "No, Mr. President, this bullet's for me," and did a beautiful job protecting him.
Yeah, that is just crazy, man. I would be so tilted if I was Lion in this game. You just have to be thinking, if one of these earlier fights went our way, all of these later fights would have also gone our way, because Cloud9 keeps getting out with no health whatsoever. We saw the stats, though, between Loki and Saint. Saint had been really the more hyped prospect coming out of the LCKCL. He'd gotten the better of Loki in that league. But coming here, it has been Loki who has gotten the best of him, and Loki again playing really well. So we can watch this one more time. They go in on Zen. Audiland tries to pull him in, but as you call out, Blabber makes sure he's the one to walk into tower range first. So he is tanking up the tower, meaning that the tower never gets aggro onto Sven. His AD carry is protected, barely survives. Blabber doing the most in this game. He has just been everywhere.
And there's the frustration you're talking about on the coaching staff of Lion, and the exact opposite on the face of Reaper and C9, who honestly just have to feel like this one is in the bag at this point, as they'll pick up yet another neutral objective. The Rift Herald now going to go over to Blabber uncontested.
I just feel like Blabber has been 1v9 this weekend, man. He is smurfing hard.
Vulcan jumping back away to the safety of Blabber over the wall there, as Audieland did find the Ishtal impact to slam him into the wall. But it's just so hard for Lion to play the game right now, man. Even walking into their own jungle, they have to expect C9 to just be there.
I mean, they have this really good early game plan. They get the invade, you get 4 buff by Blabber. Blabber is everywhere he needs to be every single time you need him for perfect counter ganks. He's tanking the tower for his AD carry. He's countering the dive on bot lane. He's countering the chase down from Licorice again later on. He's up towards the top side, taking every single objective. Like, the guy is everywhere you could ever want him to be.
He started with 4 buffs.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's still keeping his farm really high.
It's been a Blabber diff in this game. It's 11-2 now for C9. There's some good stats from this one. 3-0-5 right now. 4,000 damage. At 14 minutes, he was up 1,300
For a second, I thought he was flipping us off.
Oh, man, that would be diabolical.
But it's number 1.
Yeah, he's number 1. He's number 1. All right. Well,
I was like, whoa, Blabber, that is out of character.
That's a special image that you can only use when your team gets away with less than 100 HP more than 10 times in a game. All right, it's still an 11-2 game.
The thumbs up emote transforms.
Yeah, it's like how the little fist hangs above your head, and if you have enough teammates agree to use it. But we have the one thing, I guess, that if you're Lion, you could be sort of happy about is because everything else has been the focus, there's only the one dragon that's been taken so far. The first Drake didn't really even get taken barely before the plates fell. So they can't have a fast soul.
Thought you were about to hit me with you can be happy about the sub gap, 250 gold lead.
Yeah, well, that'll work. That'll work. No reason not to. But we got a lot of problems on the Lions side now. They're going to try to at least play around this Saint split push angle here with the Jace, trying to just knock down any bit of objective bounty money that they could possibly get their hands on. They've only got the 1 turret so far, and the gold lead keeps bleeding.
Yeah, it's always tough when your cope is, we'll get the objective bounties. It's like, well, there's a reason the objective bounties did spawn, and that is because everyone on Cloud9 is massively ahead. 2,000 plus in mid and jungle, 1,400 in both AD and top. Everyone is so far ahead. And yeah, you can try to play through Saint. I think that maybe is their best chance. You just kind of send Audi or Lions behind Saint in the side lane. You send 2 there. You hope Cloud9 sends 1 man to respond. You get a pick, you get a tower. You start to kind of claw back the game through that sort of method. But Cloud9 does not need to play risky. They're only really going to step up with Blabber behind them, or if they see people on the map, because as long as it's a 1v1, no one's beating TRspodC right now.
Oh, yeah, no way. He's got the Riftmaker already working on the Nashor's Tooth next. You can see even in the inventory for Blabber, and Sejuani is not a champion that you expect to have this kind of a lead, but it's Heartsteel Merc Treads versus Heartsteel Merc Treads Unending Despair. It's a full extra item ahead, and Blabber is still just running the show here, can easily take down this Drake, doesn't even need help from the team, but they are going to rotate some of these AD carries over just to clean it up a little bit faster and get back to occupying the enemy jungle. You can see Vulcan inside the red side jungle of Lion, just trying to clear out as much vision as he can, plant a lot of wards there, make sure they know where these guys are.
I mean, how sad does the inventory look for Henna versus Sven, right? Like, you have full IE already completed as that second item here, plus the Yuntal Wild Arrows, and you look on the other side, it's just like some scraps working towards that Rage Blade, and Blabber is already here onto Otacon. They know they are this far ahead. They know they have the item completions. Just force any fight you can find.
Yeah.
And they are just all dodging out. You can see on this one, you stand on the inside, you dodge the swirls, you pick up the flowers, and they are just going to get even more ahead now. That is a lot of roses that they just picked up. They're already at 55 now at this point, so the XP difference is going to get that much larger.
55-11 on the total flowers count between the two teams. TRspodC, again, just at the point where Licorice can't really do a whole lot to him. He's got all the extra power from the flowers and just nearly kills Licorice outright.
And it's an additional over their opponents. They have basically 30 adaptive force from their flowers. Their opponents only have 9.9. So it's an additional 20, right? That's 2 longswords. That's an amp tone. Like, that is quite a lot of gold that you are actually getting in there just from the flowers.
And we're about to see those power spikes become even stronger as the Nashor's Tooth is completed for TRspodC, as we do almost have the Manamune evolved into the Muramana in mid lane for Loki as well. This is just, it's so difficult for Lion to play it from here, and I do feel for them. It's such a frustrating way to have to end the positioning phase. A nice double impale comes out from Audieland, but C9, they've just got so many more resources. Lion stuck in the middle of everybody, dead instantly on that one. But Lion, remember, this team started off so strong back at at the very beginning of this positioning phase because they were playing against the other teams in that bottom half that we were talking about.
Beat 'em all.
And they proved themselves decidedly as the top of the bottom half.
Yep.
And so the question has been for the past couple of weeks, okay, you can beat everybody else that we grouped down there with you, but can you punch up? Can you break through the ceiling? And sadly, it looks like the answer to that, at least for now, was no.
Yep, and we have had a lot of close games, from those kind of bottom 4 teams against the top teams. We talked about it with Dignitas, we've talked about it with Shopify, and we've talked about it with Lion as well. They have been in with a chance in a number of different games, but none of them have been able to really close out the game. And when you get behind early, it just feels impossible, because to me, the biggest difference between these top 4, bottom 4 is how they play in the mid game, how they play in the late game, how they're actually using their advantages and playing through side lanes. Even when a top 4 team is behind against one of these teams, it still feels like they can come back. But if they're ahead, it feels like there's no chance for the bottom team because they just can't play the map to the same level, it feels like, as a team like Cloud9.
And I feel like that's been a story for a long time between top teams and bottom teams back in the NALCS days, in the LCS days, now in the LTA days, right? It's always been evident. And I think part of it just comes down to if you're on a bottom team, you don't have as much experience playing from a leading, winning position on stage and actually having to close the game out. Whereas teams like Cloud9, they have plenty of experience doing it as Licorice has to flash away there. The lockup from Blabber threatening to be a death sentence if Loki landed a little bit more damage. And now again, those 6 grubs just paying dividends as another tier 2 turret falls. That's 6 turrets now for C9.
Yep, they've taken every single outer tower, and meanwhile, Saint got pushed back on the bot side. You can see THANATOS pushed in that wave, and then he even takes away the Krugs. That's the other thing that gets even harder, as you know, as jungler, when your team starts losing, you start losing all your camps too.
Yeah.
And then it just feels like there's nowhere to go on the map. He is jobless right now. There's not a single camp up on his side of the map. There's nowhere safe to go, and Cloud9 has way more vision on their side of the map than Lion does.
And getting your camp stolen away, the day that I realized why it feels so bad, because it's not just, oh, I lose the EXP and gold, it's he gets it. It's twice as bad as it feels like. THANATOS, I don't really know what the face check was on that one. That one felt like a little bit of happy gaming, but C9's going to see if they can make it a little bit happier, as now they're ready to follow up. Even if it's a 4v5, they want to go in for it. Lions jumps in the middle of everybody using the Magnet Storm, but it ain't going to matter. He's already dead, and Audi lands about to drop to Licorice with that Flame Spitter. It ain't going to matter. Sven just kills him. THANATOS' plan was genius after all. He baits them all in to take him down, and even though he dies for free, C9 is ready to pay the bill. Loki's in the enemy base. Saint finally goes in, finds the to the skies to get the kill and get the shutdown, but C9 is still coming out on top with a 4-for-2 trade. They might have lost an AD carry, but they still got another one. Saint stays way too close. Blabber picks him up there with a Glacial Prison. Sven follows it up with plenty of rapid fire damage to bring him down, and now Blabber, to add insult to injury, just take the Hex Gate straight in their face.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you always draft the backup AD carry. You lose one, you got another, and Sven was just cleaning house in that fight. The only time he was really under any pressure was when Henna ults in on him, and he just buster shots him away, and then goes back to free firing on that front line. So THANATOS walks in here, wanted to see if he could actually steal the red. Everyone is in the brush. They do kill him, but that was Skarner ult, that was Equalizer, that was a lot. So Vulcan flashes forward, commits to the fight, gets a 3-man knockup, in comes Sven, and this is the moment here where you're like, all right, maybe Sven's in a little bit of trouble, but buster shots away and gets that to safety, and then just goes and attacks the weak side there from Lion, is able to get that final shot over the wall following Licorice. They chase in, and Licorice knows that it's kind of just like, it's one of those games. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the scoreboard. You know the state of the game, right? Like, this is... You take the kill on THANATOS, and you're like, all right, that felt pretty good. THANATOS now going to try to turn around and fight Licorice there with that exhaust. That's the power of it that I'm talking about. It's so tough to deal with. Now Adiland trying to jump in there, find a nice pull onto the AD carries. Lion has made his way onto those valuable targets, but C9 is still fighting back with Sven and Loki, just kiting these guys out, fighting these guys out. It does not matter that they shut down Sven, because everybody else on C9 is locked and loaded. A double kill to Loki, a triple kill when the dust finally settles, and THANATOS is already in the Lion base. They're marching straight for it. C9's going to end the positioning phase in first place.
We started with the worst. Don't be cocky. Yeah, don't be cocky. If you want it, doesn't matter. Still going to win the split, so just go ahead, cocky. Nice job, guys.
Congratulations to Cloud9, first place after after the first round robin here, the best of ones. They have claimed that first seed going on into the group stage here, where it is going to be best of 3 starting next week.
Yep.
And like they said, don't get cocky. You know, still got to win. Still got to win the split. We'll see how they can do. But damn, what a performance here against Lion, especially Blabber, to me, really dominating in those early stages. Was everywhere he needed to be. Shut down, it felt like every play that Audi tried to go for. And Cloud9 got very far ahead.
I said it at the beginning of the day. I'm going to say it again now. It was such an impressive Super Week from C9. They started off strong, they kept it strong, and now they finished strong. It's time to join Emily and Blabber on stage for an interview.
Hello, I'm here with victorious C9 jungler Blabber after finishing first in the positioning phase. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to not only come out on top and in first place, but you guys had an absolutely phenomenal week. It looked like everything really clicked for you. What was it like going in, and I guess how are you feeling about the team going into group stage?
I'm feeling pretty confident, and it definitely feels nice to have a good week, especially against like 3 of the top teams. So I'm really happy, and finally we're going to be able to play Fearless next week. So hopefully we can show up in the best of 3s as well.
Yeah, I hope you have some really cool picks planned for us. I really loved your early pathing. You really got the best of Audi in this game. So I guess just talk to me about your initial approach, especially your first pass where you were able to 4-buff him, I believe.
I mean, honestly, it was kind of bad that we let him get the Raptors. We had a different plan in mind, I would say. But after he got the chickens, I wasn't able to get 3 off of his bot camp. So I kind of just had to adapt in the game. And after I saw him go to my Raptors, I kind of knew that he wouldn't be able to do his top side, so with Prio in both my lanes, I was able to get both his camps, basically, or both his buffs.
And then there was a team fight at around 15 minutes where you get a really good ultimate onto Henna, I believe, and then you end up escaping with like a sliver of HP. Talk me through that, because I felt like that was the fight that you were already winning, but that was the one where it's really like, okay, they're not going to be able to touch you for the rest of the game.
I mean, we kind of were just, I felt like we were pressuring really hard this game. I felt like all of our lanes were just pressuring really hard. I was pressuring really hard, and it made it hard for them to find proactive plays, and I think they were just trying to force even when we were there. So I think in that play, like, Skarner actually went in first, and then we turned it on them, but our champs are like outscaling them every level, and they're losing early games, so yeah, the game was pretty easy.
And then you told me once that one of the great things about having Loki on this team is that he follows you even in the most crazy plays and scrims. So I want to know the craziest thing you two have done together.
I mean, at the beginning, like, I was pretty much, we were taking a lot of 2v2s, and I was flashing in under the tower, and he wasn't flashing with me. So we kind of talked about it, like, either we both don't flash or we both flash, and yeah, our conclusion is we're both just going to flash in for these type of aggressive plays. So it's just nice that we're on the same page now, and yeah, it's been really good working with them.
Yeah, that's it. You guys have been amazing to watch, super fun. Congratulations again. And we are going to throw it to a commercial break. Thank you very much.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Rich in the ground before Dub can even get there. In time to try to knock out as Impact gets burst.
Don't feed. Get fed. Scan the QR code for LTA deals only on Uber Eats.
Yeah, coming.
They are to the only I can come, okay?
I hit Rumble,
Yeah, look lumber.
Yeah, it's good. You eat. It's double kick. Nice.
It's good.
Go, Skarner. I'm going Skarner, guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Slowly, okay?
Kiếm tiền chưa bao giờ dễ dàng đến thế với Custom Your Green. Với base cost chỉ từ $5 Mỹ cho một sản phẩm Green On Demand cực chất.
Guys, no flash.
Look, guys, no flash. Look, round next.
Hit front. Look me.
Okay, run the flash.
Good. He has flashy.
Kill me.
Yeah.
You're good. I can hit it.
We can hit bot now.
Look Scar. Scar no flash.
Yeah.
Look Scar no flash.
Slowly. I'm still taking. Yeah. I'm fine.
Oh, you're alive?
Nice.
I can block the way. Just here.
Good job. Nice.
They flash. They want to fight. We can fight. We can fight.
Look, scan the door. We're still fighting. Okay.
I'm slowly coming.
Yeah. Jace TP, guys.
Okay. Slowly, okay?
Okay, slowly.
We can TP here. Jace TP.
Cancel.
We can win. We can win.
Jace
Jace
Chin. Yeah. Look, Jace, guys, nice.
In Korea, he also asked me, please order food, please order food.
Mom's touch.
He also wants bingsu, mom's touch, every night, like 1 a.m.
What?
I mean, everyone want to order food. I know Burger Wall kimchi soup.
Kimchi jjigae.
It's classic. 12 p.m. He on salmon sushi.
He's so random. That's crazy.
Normally, that nighttime, I remember who won Jim Duck like that. So
that was me too. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. And Impact was just a babysitter in Korea. He was our manager.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the LTA Lounge. That's such a fun clip that Elaine animated for us. So thank you so much, Elaine. Your animations are great. We saw Impact in that. We also, his teammate APA,
True.
or who I believe it was Azael who called him always pick Azir.
Always picks Azir, always plays Azir, and he's been doing it in solo queue, guys. No, but no, he's been playing a lot of Azir in solo queue. Just because for someone like APA, who like if he recognizes there's a flaw in his champion pool or something, he's going to grind the pick. So in this play, I wanted to highlight the fact that as you can see here, he sees an angle. Right here, guys. A massive angle from the Shopify Rebellion team. So we just play it through. Just being able to see the combination from the Core JJ, basically sweeping him into the Core JJ ulti, I really enjoyed. So like, even though you sacrificed to play, that was actually so good, I want to play it one more time. So like, I just thought this sweep 4-man into Core JJ's ulti even hurt a little bit. The comms were actually very, very clear that Core JJ was looking for a pick, wanted a pick, and he got the pick. Well done from this team. Yeah, I'm super glad you mentioned the comms because we learned yesterday behind the scenes, as TL members were talking about, Core JJ actually came up with a strategy for this play. So let's listen into those comms to see how exactly a plan comes together.
I'm gonna engage from this angle. Let them come this angle. I'm flanking.
I'm 3 core.
I'll make it core. Yeah. You guys go to the top side.
Yeah, core, you need. We need your engage.
Yeah. Me or Napiri is gonna do.
Yeah, I can engage too,
guys. Jace actually is main damage. Rumble can do
yeah.
They're coming top side. This one.
If they can come deep, I'm going around. Okay, Ash is gonna come here.
Main,
Ash no flash.
Where I'm coming.
Yeah, I can connect to it.
They didn't see me, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep hiding.
Let
them come and then come. Okay, I think I can go soon, slowly. Watching slowly.
They're minion coming core.
After wave.
After wave.
You guys clear the wave?
Sure.
I'm fighting here.
I think we
even go to the Baron is good.
I put
making action
here. Yep. Kinda obvious that we are not touching top, guys.
Yeah.
They think
guys, I'm flanking, so you guys can go even
hit it one time. Push it one time.
Hitting one time is good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the Atakan.
Oh, yeah. Watch core.
IBJ.
Yeah.
Also watching core.
Atakan's gonna be guns. Atakan is gonna be guns.
Lumber split. Look for a fight, guys. Watching Nico.
Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm going around.
Watch Nico.
Yeah, I'm going around. They might see me.
Solo tanking.
Oh, they didn't see me.
Watching Nico.
I chunked the...
Look at Nash.
We're going.
I got ulti pop here.
Hey, Jace.
I hit door.
Yeah. We can.
Watch Jace.
I think kill or and then from it.
No flash.
That might be hard. Okay, kill back.
I'm going back mid.
No flash.
I don't think we can actually end, guys.
You guys should just go Baron.
Go Baron then.
We go Baron then.
That's actually so That's so funny. Knowing the context, because the context was us talking to APA and Jan yesterday after their game, and then being like, yeah, Core was calling for this play like a minute out, and we were just like, okay.
At some point we're gonna do it. Even hearing, just first time for me hearing the comms, and even Upty's like, kind of obvious that we're not touching the wave comm.
Also the point where he just turns into one dog.
Yeah, I actually couldn't see him, and I was like, wait a minute, that is a random dog, Nefiri dog in the minion wave. That is Core. Really hard for me to track on that one, but yeah, it was really fun to see, and even just like kind of rounding back to the point of like, we're seeing a lot of APA Azir, and it's something that he's been heavy practicing, you can tell. Even before the whole, what's it called? I think it was like last year when this criticism was coming through and he picked it, and there was still like some criticism coming through. And then now, past 2 weeks, he's been hitting some sick Azir ultis, and on top of it, like having great lanes. So it's been fun to see that that's been translating.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see. And for those of you who aren't subscribed on Twitch, we'll be back in 1 minute for Champion Select while we go over our predictions for this match. This is a tough one. Obviously, Disguised coming off of another loss yesterday.
Tough to predict.
Against Dignitas, who at that point were also winless. So
it was a 50-50 for both of us on this one.
Yeah. So I think I won because I got Dignitas. But this one, we're both going Team Liquid.
Yeah.
We have continued the trend that no top 4 team has lost to bottom 4 team. I don't think it's going to happen here, especially with the stuff that we just saw from TL, right? Like, I do think, going back to something Spawn said last split, it's not that they can't team fight well, it's when they choose those fights, right? And when they know when to choose those fights, they're absolutely lights out.
Yeah, and it's for them, it feels like for Team Liquid, it's been getting better and better. The champion pool, it seems like, been round out pretty well with how they've been picking, I think, new identities throughout the positioning phase. Whereas for DSG, yes, they haven't been playing well, and they've been focusing on just the basics. But it's good that they're getting it out right now because, see, you already talked about it. I think they're guaranteed to be in Group B or A. Either way, regardless what group they come into it, they're going to be starting from scratch. So if they're going to be starting it from scratch, they have a second chance to be able to right the wrongs that they've had so far. And I just hope the vibes are still good. That's all I'm praying for.
I mean, they have talked about their team, right? And how, like, there are a lot of vibes guys on the team.
Yeah. I didn't even
They're
know
still
this.
having fun playing together, improving incrementally. I just think going up against TL, that's a really tough task because I think the things that TL are working on are more like, we've been at the top, right? We know what that feels like, and we'll easily be able to get there again if we shore up these other few things.
Exactly, because like they've been somebody that's been working on it, and I pray that it's going to happen again. Go for it.
And you pray it's going to happen again. We'll see if it happens again. We're going to chuck it to casters for TL versus Disguise.
Ooh.
Thank you very much, Loungers. We are taking to the stage for Disguised versus Team Liquid. Not a lot in terms of position phase, stakes on the line here, but a lot on the line for a new bet that we actually...
hairs on the line.
It was brought to our attention. Thank you, audience member, who let me know right before we went live that a bet was just made between a couple members of these two organizations before going live. Apparently, APA and Coach Mash's hair is on the line. The loser shaves their head.
Mash, the coach of DSG, betting his hair on the line. This one, and he was the one to send the first Discord message.
Yep.
So yeah, they've got a lot to play for now.
APA posted it on socials. Go check it out right there. But for now, we'll keep our pulse on how the hair situation's going post game.
Are you also going to get in on this?
Well, oh, you know what? I'll shave my head no matter who loses.
Okay,
How about that?
I like that.
I'll join the losing side.
There you go.
Maybe I'll shave their head.
Solidarity.
Can I get the honor of that? That'd be fun.
I mean, you seem to be experienced at it, so.
I've never shaved somebody else's head though, so that could be a little
maybe
messy.
we keep sharp things out of your hands then.
Yeah, let's give me a buzzer.
A little shaky.
A little buzzer.
Yeah,
That'll work. Easy, clean. Let's catch up on pick ban so far here. It's the classic Ziggs taken away from APA with Talia as well in that Rumble. And then Azir, Gwen, and Vi from Team Liquid side, Disguised on blue side. What is their #1 prio pick?
I mean, is it going to be Varus? We're going to get a Varus versus an Ezreal in this game? Holy! I'm actually more curious. Is APA going to shave his head and his mustache, or is he saving the mustache?
He's got to keep the mustache. That was not included in the bet.
Hey, look at that.
It was the Varus.
Crazy,
Varus
right?
Ezreal, revolutionary.
Oh
I can't believe we're
Anyways,
innovating the
back
meta
to the
this late in the positioning phase.
Okay, so you're on the side of APA keeping the mustache, even if he has to shave his head.
Full disclosure, I am biased,
Yeah,
as that is a look
that's
I have
true.
rocked in recent memory as well. So,
let me check chat real quick. Chat, would you rather have APA keep mustache?
no, that's not fair.
Or
Everybody
shave it?
hates the mustache, just
Keep it or
because
shave
in
it?
general people are mustache haters. So I'm not going to say that's fair.
But
I'm
a lot
starting
of-
to
a
smell
lot of
burnt toast. No, what was that sign?
A lot of people think it's funny. Oh,
Check your
Sejuani
pulse.
plus Yone combination locked up here. This is powerful, okay? It's looking better for Mash's hair now. I do like this draft. They got the Varus side.
Yep.
They get the Yone Sejuani, very potent 2v2 mid-jungle here.
Very strong having that ability to assist with the Sejuani passive with these melee champions, and they still haven't picked their top lane, so theoretically they could double down on that, but there's the Cassiopeia for APA.
Yeah, and we just got to look at his mustache as well, so people could get some more info for their
Can we
decision.
zoom in on that,
Yeah,
actually?
there we go.
I don't know if we have that power.
I will probably say that it is more likely that Mash has to shave his head after this game, but it's
Based
up in
on
the
power
air.
rankings, I mean, we keep saying it.
It is
No
up in the
bottom
air.
4 team has beaten a top 4 team. We have not had an upset across that line yet. There are 2 more opportunities in the positioning phase.
What they really needed was motivation.
Ooh, Brazil! Shout out Brazil right there.
LTA Sul, baby.
Yeah. Here I'm chatting as well. Let's go.
All right.
Got some APA fans in the audience.
J-Span off the table here for Castle. That is his favorite top lane champion, if I may say so
On my
myself.
life.
Oh.
Wow. There's a lot of, like,
Masu
high
started it all.
stakes.
Masu started it all.
He
Everyone's
did.
betting their lives and threatening each other.
I'm not going to get in on that one.
No?
I'll
Okay.
sit that
Good.
one
You're
out.
not going to bet my life? I'm glad.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option, Kobe.
It's not an option.
Well, now we'll consider it. You know, still undecided. But and that's also taken off the table here. Nautilus banned away on DSG's side. They could go for another support pick because when I see something like the Ezreal, I always think you can draft a support that wants to get out of that lane, help impact the rest of the map. And
You
Nefiri,
do think that.
yeah.
I do too. I
Nefiri
agree.
as a jungler also, usually it's about full clearing early, but you do like your support linking up with you eventually.
Certainly do. You know what would fill the role for both of those? Well, I was going to say Leona, but Nico also fills that role. And Core JJ had a good first Nico game on stage just yesterday. So maybe we get that lock in there.
Yeah, we saw that beautiful Azir shuffle into the Pop Blossom combo.
The handoff, the alley-oop.
The alley-oop, throw it up, dunk it down, but they're actually instead going to pivot to the Renekton.
Oh, I like it. See, they did the other hovers for the mind games. What is Core JJ going to 5-pick on red side counter pick? It is very rare for red side to save, to just slam their top laner like that. But I guess with Impact, he's like, you know what? Give me the old Renekton. I'll be good either way.
I mean, we talked about in the patch notes, all of Impact's notable champions got buffs. Renekton was one of those, so obviously they're happy with that. But Core JJ also, for all supports in the league, has a relatively high counter pick percentage. They do like to do this.
So, did the mind game of hovering Nico work?
Ooh, is this
because
what they wanted?
It's
is what you're
because
saying.
it's been, it's stolen away here. The Nico plus the Varus, or they were just shouting it out because Nico Varus is one of the most common pairings that we do have, and Core JJ likes that Pantheon.
He's hovering it. He's hovering it.
You wanted him.
I was blessed
You
last
wanted him to
split
gank
seeing
top
Core
lane.
Pantheon. I don't think we're going to get it, though, as the Rel is instead locked in. I didn't want to get too excited too early, but Rel still fits that same role. You said the Leona. We already saw the Alistair Nautilus banned away. Rel's kind of in that same pocket, right? Engage support.
Yeah, and gives you a lot of possibilities here for Core JJ to link up with Umpty. Umpty had a really good Nefiri game yesterday. This is actually triple Nefiri games for Umpty, I believe. So they really have taken a liking to, oh no, because he had the Zinzao one in there as well. But a lot of them, because the Lion one was only an extra game back, so he does have 3 total. And they really have liked this kind of swap of putting him on this carry champion that does have a lot of mobility, has the untargetability now, of course, on the W, and we'll see if he can get as big of an early lead as he did in the game yesterday, because yesterday it was kind of out of control after that early little scrap, and then he kind of counter ganked the mid play to get even further ahead. And when the Nefiri gets that far ahead early, really gets to run both jungles.
It's going to be up to XU. Can he contain the Nefiri? Can he contain the Umpty? Disguised have yet to pick up a win so far in the positioning phase, but they got one more chance before we move to the group stage next week. Team Liquid on the other side. Their position is pretty much locked in here, but they want to maintain momentum going into that group stage there, Kobe, because this is a team, they are the reigning champions. A reminder for everybody who might have forgotten, based on the FlyQuest C9 kind of being at the top of expectations right now. Team Liquid, a dominant win here, while somewhat expected, also gets their name back in that conversation.
Also, it saves APA his hair. Reminder to anyone who just tuned in, APA and MASH,
Ooh.
well, wait a second, as we have an actual fight.
APA's heroes might be his bot lane heroes, who he's getting giga punished in this early game. Level 1, had to use the heal already, traded for Core JJ's Ignite, but should be able to get back to lane before the minions. It's just a trade of summoner spells as another invade. Umpty jumping on the castle here. I don't think we'll see much as Team Liquid do back off.
Yeah, decent amount of poke down there onto castle. That always feels so bad. Not only do you not deny the vision, but of course not getting that gold off of killing the ward.
They get the 5 from the first auto, you know.
From pinging it or from seeing it. Oh, great. Okay, I like that. You know,
all right, so here we go. Wins. It's official, everybody. We have it on screen. APA tweeted it out. I'll shave my head if I lose to this guy. As you can see the whole conversation on the right there. It seems like loser shaves their head. So that's going to be... it's going to be higher stakes than we necessarily expected going into it.
I like it. My blood is pumping already. What's it going to be? A bald coach or a bald mid laner?
Also awesome to see that the highlight there, battle of the Maryville alumni, APA and Scary Jerry, of course, playing on the old collegiate roster together for a brief stint. And thought very fondly of each other. I got a chance to catch them at some of those live events, and always very fun. Spirits are always high between the two, as Jan has to instant cleanse to get out of that one.
Yeah, I like the video that we had yesterday as well on Scary Jerry, where they interviewed APA directly, and he talked about his time on Maryville with them, and his #1 thing was complimenting his work ethic and how hard he practiced and how much time that he put in. So definitely a lot of respect there. You love to see it.
Ooh, flash from Core GJ with the crash down. Scary Jerry in some trouble, but Jan gets hit by the root. He's saving his AD carry's life for now. Scary Jerry still has both summoner spells available. Core GJ's continuing the chase, and they got him. First blood to Jan.
Wow. TL bottom lane, wait a second.
Ooh, Umpty even pushes XU off of the red buff. Has smite. XU, can you get in there? Can't quite see. Looks like Umpty's the one that got it.
Yeah, Umpty's bottom lane just won, and he's playing Nefiri into Sejuani, so very good invade here. Bottom lane pushing in, stole away the red, full vision coverage over XU as well on the Sejuani, dropping the double wards to see him. So Core JJ and Jan, I mean, XU walked right past it.
Oh, Core JJ's actually going in at an awkward time. He's trying to stop Huhi from catching the wave, but now XU's here. Scary Jerry's back in lane. I think Core JJ should just go down. Arctic Assault forward. XU just needs the passive. Core actually, almost gets out of there, but one snipe from the arrow. Scary Jerry's on the board.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't want the minion wave in a bad place, but they did have vision of Sejuani there. Let's see what Umpty, maybe stop the recall at the very least.
XU is not able to get his red buff, but is at least able to get an assist and set up his bot lane, who was falling behind there. I mean, dying for Scary Jerry meant that he lost some of that CS, but the wave is basically saved here. Let's see. I don't know if it's fully frozen bot side, but it's at least in a pretty safe spot for right now.
And I think it'll slowly push back, bouncing away, judging from the position there. So it is going to go right back towards TL. And remember, TL used all of their summoner spells. Well, Core JJ's Ignite is back up from the early Ignite, but they did both use theirs, so...
Interesting that I wanted to highlight DSG. They're making a play topside. XU's actually... Oh, he just showed. So Impact should know who he's a minion. Does Impact do the counting? He didn't count! Rooted up! Taken down! Team Liquid top lane in trouble, and it's Castle that gets the kill cred.
So, now you know the Nico's top side. What is the bottom side going to do? Because Scary Jerry is left alone. Doesn't look like they're pushing very quickly here. They're trying to just keep it out of reach.
I think he might lane swap because Castle's back, and also, so Castle go TP. Yep, here we go. Castle TP's bot. Scary Jerry's going to run topside, but what an early play from DSG, who he has been all around the map so far this split. Kobe, you even highlighted yesterday that he's like the highest roam percentage, right? Or at least jungle proximity percentage.
The time spent with your jungler pre 14 minutes. And he did so there. It was kind of interesting. Yeah, you pointed out Sejuani showed, but Sejuani wasn't the real threat.
That was the bait. Impact was like, oh, I see the Sejuani. Now I have a false sense of security. But we wanted to highlight a little bit more of the Huhi kind of narrative here, because him and CoreJJ actually have an interesting kind of history against each other. Both of these supports, very long tenured careers in the North region here, as Castle's just going to try and get a combo onto CoreJJ. Should be just fine. CoreJJ actually taking a lot of damage right there. But you can see the accolades between these two. Both have been playing for quite a while here. But notably, CoreJJ has a little more experience playing with rookies. He's played with players like Tactical, players like Jan, whereas this is Huhi's first time really playing with a rookie in Scary Jerry. So I think that some of the play style might come down to that. Huhi has a very different style when it comes to playing with a new bot lane.
Here we go on the Dragon setup. Castle moving in right on Jan.
Yeah, it doesn't have the flash available. It does have that cleanse, so he's able to get out of there.
I also found it interesting that both CoreJJ and Huhi have role swapped. You know, Huhi came from mid lane, CoreJJ from AD carry, although be it very long ago.
Yeah, Dignitas, right?
And they both found a bunch of success.
Love to see a success story there.
Kiwi Kid, for anyone who remembers the old school.
That was before even my time, Kobe. So let's get out of there. I can't add much to this conversation here, but we do see the Dragon start up from Disguised. XU on it, and nobody's taking those grubs yet as Impact pops the Dominus. Flash out of Scary Jerry. We have Umpty in the neighborhood as well. Huhi again, just lethal with those roots. Impact will live. Umpty is now all alone. Pops the W. Hound's Pursuit gets him out of there, but Team Liquid, they almost lost their top laner for that play. Hard committed to it.
And they did lose their top laner's flash. Although they didn't lose his life, they still lose his flash. And it is going to be neutrals traded since you got the Dragon alert there. XU and DSG are able to take that Mountain Drake. So after the kind of messy play on top side, they are going to go for their grubs, and CoreJJ might go for more.
We're going for the dive. We know there's no flash. He has the barrier. Scary Jerry will pop it. Ignite burning, but he can walk away. So Team Liquid, they don't have to invest that much. They just push Scary Jerry out of lane.
Okay, let's see. It doesn't seem like it's going to punish too much since Castle's already lane swapping back. Castle is running here, and they do have a protection ward. Actually, Castle going to take a little stop here to help with the jungle fight.
Yeah, Umpty no longer has a Hound's Pursuit. W is down. He has to flash away, so Summoner Spell burned. Thought he had a window to actually go for the invade.
All right, well, the cannon minion dies while they take the detour in getting back to that lane. But looks like that one should end up fine. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, after that recall, Scary Jerry lives, and he's going to be able to go collect this wave that's pushing to him, but that cannon minion dies as well.
Ooh.
So it is -2 cannon minions in the swap.
I wanted to see what Impact bought. It looked like just a longsword, because in the extended play top side, Impact loses flash, they don't get the kill, but Castle got the wave shoved in and took plates bot side. So for right now, Castle seems to have just a slight advantage. Gets even more plates topside, so some slight tempo play.
Yeah, and he has a lot of gold advantage, so it's the CS that has built up from these back-to-back swaps and the plate gold here. Really going to good use for him. We'll see if this Aatrox becomes a big
Glacial Prison invested mid lane. APA throws up the patented Ziggs double thumbs up. Nice.
Swing and a miss.
And Huhi actually roamed topside. That is not the Varus, that is the Nico.
So now I'm curious, because you said you don't know Kiwi Kid. Do you know,
well, I
if
know
I'm looking at a Sejuani,
conceptually
if I look at a Sejuani though, and that one was just like out of range, usually it's more like if a Sejuani ult goes diagonal or something to someone, but if I said Xmithy, do you know that?
Yes, that is the Sejuani ult missing the target.
Just checking.
Yeah. I'm a CLG guy, Kobe. Come on, I know my Xmithy.
We have to verify your credentials.
All right, I'll give you the timer. It's anything pre-2016. That's when it gets a little muddy for me.
Okay, well, XC's on the move again, bottom side, but there was a ward there that sees him, so I don't think there's going to be a play for him on the bottom side.
But again, I mean, Impact's getting to this wave a little late. He gives over another plate. Like, Impact, yes, he gets the Renekton, but the early game's not going the Renekton's way so far. He's been a little behind these lane rotations and has yet to really hit a turret.
Meanwhile, the mid lane.
Meanwhile, yeah, Abadage getting dove underneath the turret. Don't quite have enough damage for it, but topside, Scary Jerry does! Feats of Warfare claim Disguised with their 3rd kill.
This is such a good game for Disguised. I mean, that's up to 1,000 gold lead off of that, and they're going to get more turret plate money off the top side from killing Impact down there. This is actually huge for them.
I mean, this is night and day what we've seen from Disguise so far. This is Disguise with a fantastic early game, pushing Team Liquid and really just out-rotating the team that we have lauded for their ability to rotate and play the map. Disguise are doing it better.
All right, looks like we're going to get a little mini replay of that one. He walks up, the Nico ultimate into the full CC chain.
Yep. And you know what? He didn't have flash from that earlier play when he tried to all in on Scary Jerry, so getting punished for that one. Is now Scary Jerry back in the mid lane this time.
It's interesting, too, because if you're looking at the comps, there is a lot of hard engage here for DSG, and if they can continue to push the fights here around these objectives, get there first, you have so many engage tools that all you have to do is keep up tempo, keep playing around the objectives, and go for picks on these TL members, and they might be able to do it.
I want to see Disguise, like you said, keep that aggression going. Go for the dragons. Go for these grubs on spawn, because silently APA is doing a really good job of just getting ahead of Abadaga in the CS department. The Cassiopeia does kind of feel like this eventual bomb. You have the Roa completed once that fully stacks, and you're able to get more items. The Cassiopeia can be a problem for the relative short range of the solo laners on Disguise side, as AP is actually taking a solo onto Castle. Now has Umpty behind him, misses the Petrifying Gaze, but in goes Umpty under the turret, has the W to dodge the aggro, but APA takes another turret shot. Umpty gets the kill.
Castle fights back a little bit and forces APA's flash, but still goes down. Meanwhile, topside Impact under attack again.
Dominus pulled, and he just kills the entire way, but we are diving regardless. Chain CC, Abadaga with the kill.
Impact might as well be a pinata this game. Cracked open for some more gold this time around, but it is going to be traded sides of the map. So this time around, TL are actually getting something, of course, and the kill did go into the hands of Umpty into that Nefiri, which he did have a pretty big effect on yesterday. So we'll see if that is wisely spent. Abadaga, meanwhile, definitely needs a bunch of this gold, because once you get your Blade of the Ruin King on Yone, that's where you really have your true threat here. So if he's able to finish that on his next back, which I assume he will be able to, then you get a lot of that side lane pressure, and you we'll start to see DSG if they can actually use their engaged potential.
Maybe, again, didn't get it the first time, but no flash on Castle, no TP to get back into lane, and no ultimate, notably as well. So APA can just bully around any side laner. This is kind of the win con for Team Liquid at this point. Can APA just maintain a stable game state on his side of the map?
Yeah, and I would say Jan also still has a really good, way to carry this game. He is not behind on Ezreal at all, really. Ezreal can remain fairly safe in the face of, the massive amount of engage on the DSG side. So Jan could be in a very good position too. Cassiopeia is good in these counter-engaged scenarios, so they do have multiple threats. Even though Impact is fairly far behind in this game, Umpty, APA, and Jan all in positions to very viably carry this.
There was a short period Scary Jerry had an item advantage, but Jan just finished Trinity Force, and there's really nothing to fight for right now. So Team Liquid do have a little breathing room right now. That top side is just where you're starting to feel some concern for them. 0-3 for Impact right now. Has not been able to maintain his ability to just, survive in that side lane. His turret's got one plate left and is about to lose that additional armor. But now in the bot side, we do see the engage. CoreJJ backing up APA. That Petrifying Gaze will land, and it's CoreJJ with the kill credit.
They just cannot give any of these last hits over to APA. This Cassio, APA is doing a lot of work, okay?
Yep.
He was winning his lane early on.
Give the man a kill.
We want some money on that snake. But regardless, it's still going to be a very positive play for them. Can they finish here towards
Exu
tower?
and Huki are coming down.
No Cassio ult or flash, but I don't think there's a lot of threat with just a Sejuani and a support Nico. So, so really it's just going to relieve a little bit of the pressure on the tower and try to buy time for Yone to get back, since Abadaga just finished his Blade of the Ruin King that we were looking for.
So at this point, Huki should be just fine. At this point, since we've traded dragons, we've traded grubs, and gold is relatively even, if not almost exactly even, Who we favoring? Okay, actually, I'm going to favor APA right now in the side lane. I did not realize how much he was pushing that turret. He just takes first turret of the game.
Abadaga's got to be a little bit careful here. Umpty could definitely go for this one. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're just keeping track of the rest.
Yeah, Abadaga is in some trouble here, as the Fate's sealed. Might have to use it defensively to get away, but actually he could look to turn back around. Has Exu and Huhi behind him. Does not. No summoner burn, no ultimate burned. Everyone just walks away. But that turret take means that Team Liquid, they just need to get one more objective, neutral objective, and they do have feats of strength. Same can be said for Disguised, since they got the feats of warfare, first 3 kills.
Yep, everything comes down to the Rift Herald. To be able to finish off those feats will arrive very shortly here, and the access to Rift Herald granted by pushing mid lane first. So CoreJJ doing the setup work here. Gets the vision down, leading over to it. Very deep in enemy jungle.
Ooh, actually Castle's surrounded right now on the minimap. We can see it. I don't think that Team Liquid realize it. As Impact will walk up. Castle now gets back to his turret, so he should be safe from this position. But there's the Herald. Looks like we will get a scrap for it. Abadaga is pushing bot side, but he has the teleport available. Does he want to preemptively teleport or wait? He might get the turret first.
So Exu, it looks by the recharge on his smite, he only had 1 smite charge, and he just used that charge on the Scuttle Crab.
Oh, okay.
It's taking a while.
And now the Pop Blossom engage. It only lands on a CoreJJ. Umti gets out of there, and now Disguise are surrounded. Petrifying Gaze from APA. Team Liquid are going all in on this one, and they are getting rewarded. Jan catching Exu in the side there. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Team Liquid, and it doesn't look like Abadaga is going to be able to get anything done. He wasn't there at the start. He has to teleport in. Cannot equalize the play.
Yeah, I think just a little bit too late there. TL are going to be able to get the objective, even though the Scuttle Crab smite worked out. They get the win in the fight. They're going to get the feats off of the Rift Herald.
Not too shabby. When it comes down to team fighting, that is something that Team Liquid, we had expectations, should be able to out-execute on Disguise. The early game went fantastic for Disguise. Their lane assignments, their ability to move around the map, great stuff to get them an early lead, but now things are starting to fall apart as Abadaga is going for a 1v1 out of Impact, but Umti is still in the neighborhood. Abadaga has to Fate Sealed. It's blocked, has the flash available. Does he need to use it? Under turret goes Umti. He's knocked back up. Abadaga might have the outplay. Does flash away and almost takes down his jungle opponent.
Does get to live here. They trade flashes, as you say, but all other lanes are also getting pushed by Team Liquid. Dragon is spawning. CoreJJ is already there with brush control.
As Jan actually could be in some trouble here. Exu doesn't have the ultimate available, and Jan just arcane shifts away. Now APA walking up. Team Liquid are trying to control access to the Dragon.
And APA is insanely powerful here. Even though he didn't get the last hits on those kills that they wanted to get him on the bottom side, he still got the assists, and he still got the tower gold, and he still has his 2-item power spike.
Ooh, Umti's actually taken a pretty dangerous path there. Still has the Hound's Pursuit, though, so he can always get away from things like the Pop Blossom, like Glacial Prison, which is coming off cooldown shortly here for Exu. But it looks like we could get another scrap for the Dragon. This time it's Castle and Impact not in the fight. Both of them have teleport. Early teleport from Castle all the way to the bottom lane. This gives Impact a little window here to actually catch this wave, try and push it back out. We'll see when he decides to join up. But for right now, Disguised actually have slight control over the river. Teleport flank coming in, engage from CoreJJ. It's only onto the jungler. Pop Blossom does land on APA. He's quite tanky though. Has the Roa completed, has the Seraphs, but CoreJJ does not. He does go down. Now Castle's trying to get onto APA. Impact on the flank, on the back line, gets down Exu. It's Castle as the front line. Abadaga gets onto Umti though. Junglers are out of the fight. APA still alive. Just free firing here. No threats now. He does get rooted over the wall though. Big damage there. Impact pushed away. Scary Jerry with the snipe! And APA, he goes in for more! The Blast Cone, he flashes! He takes down Scary Jerry, but gives his life for it. Abadaga was there to punish.
Oh my goodness, what a brawl in the river. Scrapping it out here. In the end, the extra kill does go over, but okay, we'll go right back into the replay to look at how it all started. There were so many Super Blast Cones. The first one for CoreJJ to start. Then the Sejuani ultimate did not hit Cassiopeia there. Went through as he was in the Pop Blossom, but still able to get the first kill as they take down CoreJJ, and then they kind of kite away. APA kites away there and then is able to go for the re-engage with this miasm to create some room.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are just so low and they're already down a person. When Huhi hits the snare, it actually opens up for Scary Jerry to target Impact. And then there's the second Super Blast Cone right back in for APA, as you said, and then he flashes to complete the play, but Abadaga had his ultimate there.
Incredibly confident from APA in that moment. He was like, I won my kills, okay? I don't want to shave my head, all right? As looks like we're back to live here. We see that we're at the Otacon for Disguised. Where's Umti at right now? He's approaching from the bottom of the river. Team Liquid are looking to engage. They don't have Impact with them. He's walking all the way from the mid lane. It could come down to a 50-50. Umti's not even going to look for it. As Disguised are just tanking up some of the Otacon damage. It's so scary to team fight after this because now you have less resistances the more you get hit by this thing. Instead, we're looking at Castle. Impact's in the pit. And now the Pop Blossom from Huhi. It actually lands on their two. They got Jan. Has to flash away. Trying to get to safety. Jan is safe for right now. It's a trade of supports to kick things off as Disguise trying to get these flowers. They got the Otacon, but that is not the big objective. You got to get the autos off afterwards. Caster trying to buy them that space as APA just chases out Scary Jerry. Now looks for the rest of the fight. Abadaga gets onto Jan with the help of Castle. APA still full health though. Team Liquid can still do this with Cassiopeia. Umti and Impact are taking the 2v2 for top lane jungle. Abadaga's got low health. APA chasing him away. And Team Liquid, are they winning or losing? I can't even tell, man.
They're winning.
Umti's got it. Castle does not have the damage. Impact does. Team Liquid will win the team fight.
The Conqueror value in this fight is actually insane for all TL members. The Conqueror stacked almost the whole time. Only Jan died on the re-engage, so he went down a bit earlier, but the rest of them with the full chase through. And TL are also going to be able to traverse the entire rift after the fight to get back and kill the dragon. I will say the flower count, though, still goes to DSG. They end up with 33 petals to TL's 18, but wait a second.
They might even find more. Ooh, Abadaga suppressed in the pit. And burning down does get out, though. He's fine. Dragon over to Team Liquid. Yes, the Otacon flowers over to DSG, but Team Liquid further ahead in the Dragon count, and also getting those kills gets them a little more gold in their pocket.
Okay. Another rambunctious brawl here. Let's take a look at how it started out. They found Castle early, so he dashed over the wall. As Castle left, that's when Huhi went in, though, and they got the full engage onto Jan, who blew Cleanse and Flash. Does get out, and they trade support for support. But then the re-engage. I thought Scary Jerry up there being so low was going to... Well,
what's happening live? Okay, looks like APA actually getting caught out in the side lane. Oh, Team Liquid's Kryptonite. APA taking down DSG. Pounce on the snake.
DSG keeping up with the pace of the game. I mean, wait a second. Looking at the aftermath, we just came out of a replay, but no other lanes for TL were pushed. It looks like just that one was pushed. So it seems a little odd to only have like 1 point on the map be pushed by a solo Cassio, but very good for DSG to be able to prey on him and go pick him off.
Impact might get top turret here. Yeah, I think he should. Castle's trying to get there. Does Impact want to commit? Yeah, one auto should have it. I think he should be fine. So extended play, sure, but you can see in the replay there, yeah, that was just APA. Too far up, nobody around him.
Yeah, and then sometimes you make the argument, okay, well, we're pushing multiple lanes at the same time, and if they overcommit, then you don't get anything. But I guess the one hit on that top tower, though, is does result in an objective, does result in some gold there for Team Liquid as well.
Bit of a comeback here for Impact as well, because he's able to pick up a couple kills in those fights, gets that top turret. So now that big ballooning and gold lead in the top side is pretty even. Still 500 in favor of Castle.
The balloon truck.
That's a little. That's like the type of balloon that you, like a clown,
it's a
makes
couple
into
days
like a
old,
dog.
so
it's deflated. Yeah, slightly deflated. You know, you ask your uncle, hey, can you re-tie this for me? It's falling apart a little bit. They say, nah, past life.
Are we unpacking some Kangas trauma here?
You know what? I've lived a long life,
Kangas balloon trauma.
I've lived a long life, let me tell you. Umti in the enemy jungle right now. XU doing the same as Impact gets pushed away. So they're jockeying for this top side. They have the wave going to crash into that turret, but not going to actually commit to the siege. Castle, meanwhile, might get dove here. Umti nearby. Again, Hound's Pursuit, such a strong tool to juggle the turret aggro, but it's actually APA taking it right now. Has to flash away. Umti jumping away from the chains of corruption as well. So botched dive attempt from Team Liquid. Teleport in from Impact, and he gets out of there. A lot committed for TL. Not a lot of reward.
let's take count here. So it was teleport for teleport with Impact and Abadaga using theirs. So it's the extra flash off of APA that is the real victory for DSG in their defense there.
And they don't get the top wave. That was successfully pushed in by DSG.
Very true. Dying to tower right now, those minions. So an extra bit of value. And honestly, even though APA has been such a strong point for TL for a lot of this game, with all the kills that Abadaga's been getting in these fights, he's almost to Infinity Edge here on Yone. So that Infinity Edge 3-item Yone will be really scary for the backline.
Kobe, they're going for a Baron, essentially on spawn, 25
They burn it pretty quickly.
They do with the Yone. Again, it's lethality Varus, so not going to be doing as much damage there, but Abadaga jumps off the Baron over the wall. Yeah. Team Liquid are going to spot it. Umti could look for the steal, but the pop lost, and that means Hound's Pursuit is down. Umti's going to try and get around the wall. He does it! Successful Baron heist for Disguised.
Disguised, they're doing everything they need in this game. The Baron heist is successful, and they don't even drop a minion. Castle gets down there with a teleport.
Kobe! Disguised are bringing it to Team Liquid right now.
Yep, Team Liquid. They are looking a bit sluggish here. Wait, there's a snake in the grass.
Gotta watch out for those kids.
They're trying to make some sort of play afterwards, but there's no reason for Disguise to recheck that area. They know that area of the map was been in Team Liquid control, so they should assume it has danger in it, and they're the ones that already have the Baron buff, so they can just push back out and get that outer tower.
Disguise do have also time to play for that dragon. It's 30 seconds, so they're not pressured to immediately go into the jungle. I love this. Push mid instead, and Team Liquid, again, late on the rotation. They just went for the resets. They're going to lose this mid turret, and now presumably lose some of their control, but they do have a lot of flanking TP wards for APA. It's not going to be Impact. That will not be up by the time the dragon spawns, but...
Look at how deep Core JJ is, too. I mean, he's going to walk over wards to get here, so I don't think DSG will be caught off guard at all.
It's Core JJ and APA. They were spotted, like you said. So Disguise actually back up. But Abadaga just pushing this top side. What a Red Bull Baron power play. 3,000 in advantage for Disguise just off of that alone, and they're going to even take the tier 2 mid. The map is just falling apart for Team Liquid.
DSG, they are kind of doing it here, Kangas. Another tower down, more territory to work with. They can retreat right back to this dragon. There is a plethora of Team Liquid vision around it, but I don't think that actually matters here.
DSG are making this very interesting right now. If you had asked me going into this game who the heavy favorites were, I think 9 people out of 10 would tell you Team Liquid, and that one person is Toast himself.
He would also say that we're the underdogs.
Why isn't his hair on the line? Mash's hair's on the line. We got APA's hair on the line.
We got your hair on the line.
We got my hair on the line as well. I did put my name in that hat. Maybe that was the motivation Disguised needed. Again, a reminder, they have yet to pick up a win. You look at the top left of your screen, DSG with a big 0-6 underneath it. That's their record in the positioning phase. This would be their first win.
Yeah, and it's even bigger than that, too. It would be the first of any bottom 4 team to take a win off of the top 4, too. That's the last of the secondary towers.
A fantastic game from Disguise so far. You can find very little, errors in their play so far, and you can see just how impactful this would be. That's 14-0 when you just draw the line at the top 4 versus the bottom 4. Not a single one has been able to cross that line. Disguised are on the precipice of being the first, but I don't want to curse them because the job's not over. They do still have more League of Legends to play. Team Liquid are by no means out of this game. APA is still scaling. Now is that Seeker's Arm Guard completed.
And there definitely have been some errors, but they've been fighting through them, you know, and still able to come back, sneak the Baron when they're in a tight spot, and be able to get themselves back into a good position.
I'm also part blind, so that's why I wasn't able to see any.
Well, you got the glasses.
I am wearing my glasses now. True. Oh, hooey. Testing the vision of Jan right there, who does get away.
All right. They have so many tools, too, as far as the Sejuani engage and the full follow-up here. Team Liquid have to be very careful about counting minions, about trying to keep track of Nico. It's a difficult job, later into the game especially, but very critical one.
I'm happy that DSG are actually backing up Abadaga here. APA and Umti were looking at him, but then XU's joining as well, saying, nope, you will not get onto my mid laner. In fact, we're going to buy space for Abadaga to push out that wave even more. No objectives for a while, though. 2 minutes for the next Baron, 3 minutes for Dragon, and Baron is, of course, expired now for DSG. So we have a slight moment to breathe. take stock of everything. It is, in fact, a 3K lead as Umpty actually might be caught out of sorts, caught out of position, has to flash out of the engage of DSG.
Another small victory here for DSG. That's the reward you get for controlling vision, for controlling enemy jungle. We just saw them spend a whole minute basically in this jungle, placing their wards. You talked about hovering Abadoge's split push, allowing him to get it all the way up, and they kind of close the loop there and do punish Umpty a bit.
IE complete with the Quicksilver Sash for Abadage, so in a very good position.
Dangerous man.
Dangerous man. Can he get the buff steal? He does. And even gets out clean. Love to see it. That's that vision prio that they set up. Now, Team Liquid do have a lot of vision bot side as well, but it's very early vision. There's no dragon to fight for. They have their teleports, but I don't think they'll get a lot of value out of any flanking wards right now. We do have a little bit more time before we expect to see that next fight. Disguised are playing a much, much cleaner League of Legends today than we've seen them play in some of their other games so far. And I love to see it. You love to see this type of story because they've been close. You remember even their FlyQuest game. They made FlyQuest sweat and work for that win. And then we hadn't necessarily seen that big spark from them yet. This is that spark in full display.
See if they can do it. Can they complete versus TL here? I mean, you're pointing out some of the key ones, with the Quicksilver Sash on the side there for Abba. You also have to keep track of the Zhonyas there for APA. Don't want to overcommit onto a Cassiopeia who is pretty good at counter-engage with Flash and Zhonyas and Ultimate available to try and outplay. You do have to be very careful. So there is a lot more pressure here on DSG. It's good that you bring up their game versus FlyQuest because, they were able to get some big fight victories to get themselves some gold to be in positions kind of similar to these ones and weren't quite able to win the fight around their objective when it mattered. Now is the time with the pressure on to focus on the next engage.
He's actually not going to get caught out here. He's got Exu in his back pocket, and it's instead Impact that has to jump away, slice defensively, not usually the direction the Renekton wants to go. And that means he's going to be about half health here as the Baron has spawned, and we're just TPing straight into there. Oh, no, it's a back channel. Never mind. Other one. Wrong direction. Castle actually picks up another completed item, though. So DSG, they are ready to tussle. Engage could come out at any moment here. CoreJJ, we've seen him go for it. We've seen Exu go for it. These are the primary engage tools on both of these teams. Exu gets heavily chunked by APA right there. So now half health for the Sejuani. And okay, Ezreal ult does whiff everybody. Would have been nice poke. Can't quite get it onto Exu right now.
Yeah, poke damage favoring TL a bit there with Exu, as you say, taking the majority of it. Looks like they're actually going to take the call of splitting, having Cassio solo the dragon while the rest of them hold vision around Baron. And if they feel like DSG are committing to the Baron, they can call APA over with his teleport.
No wards on the top side, though, so he's going to teleport to mid. It will be a direct front-to-back fight for Team Liquid. No flanking shenanigans.
Umpty could go for a steal as well.
Yep, jumping over the pit could be the answer. The Baron's getting low, but instead they're just going to catch Impact well far forward from the rest of the team. And Team Liquid are now, they have to go for 50-50, but instead it's Abadage over the wall, pushing Umpty away. The House Pursuit's down. Abadage pushes all members of Team Liquid out of there. Disguise are going to get their second Baron, and Abadage gets a kill.
They did it in the critical moments here. DSG, wait, they're not even done.
Oh, Fate sealed. That's Jan jumping away. Still has the summoner spells available, but Umpty might be in trouble here. No flash. Over the wall goes Abadage. Umpty's going to go down. Disguised. Get the Baron, they get multiple kills, they have the wave shoved. Is this their moment?
It is, they can push for the win. They have teleport on Abadage, they can teleport him in with the Baron and the death timers here. They can go for the win.
All 5 members up, only 2 left for Team Liquid. Disguise could be the team to make it happen. None of the bottom 4 teams have taken a game versus a top 4 team. Disguise could be them. Engage under the turret. One last Nexus turret remaining, but the wave is getting cold right now. Team Liquid doing a good job to hold on Disguise. They don't want to go for the kill and build. They're going to let the minions do the damage. Now they might just go back in. Abadage onto Impact. Low health bars on Team Liquid's top laner and mid laner, but Disguise, they don't feel confident enough to walk up. They're giving the space back to Team Liquid. They've never been in this position before. Can they close it out now? Big damage onto Jan. Still has a flash available. Who he could go for the hero play. Gets to engage onto CoreJJ. APA's out of there. Disguise just need to hit the Nexus. Just go for the game, guys. Can they make it happen? Disguise win their first game
big smiles, and Kangas, all they needed was a little motivation of the hair bet. Mash bet APA, you have to shave your head. Whoever loses, looks like APA is going to have to shave his head because Disguise have their first win, and they get to take a bow on the LTA stage.
What a moment for these guys. They lost to Dignitas yesterday, the other team yet to pick up a win. But this has got to give some energy to this roster. They were so close so many times. This time they get across the finish line. Take your bow, Disguised. You earned that one. But for everybody at home, don't miss any LTA action when you get your favorite foods delivered on Uber Eats for less gold. Scan the QR code on screen, click the link in chat or the Uber Eats button on lolesports.com to access the champion shop featuring exclusive deals and 50% off Uber Eats. Ooh, but that's it from us. We're joining Raz and Scary Jerry on stage for an interview.
That's right, we got Scary Jerry for his first victory in Tier 1 play. Congratulations, how does it feel, brother?
It feels really good, honestly. I didn't even know to go shake hands because, you know, I'm not used to winning, but it feels so good, especially against a team like Team Liquid.
Hell yeah, you've been grinding for it like this entire year. It's just been kind of like ups and downs and turbulence, but like, tell me about the process for you. How's the experience been? Because I remember hearing from Huhi, like, you're very self-critical of yourself. Sometimes you get down. Just tell me how the experience in Tier 1 play has been for you so far.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's a lot of like imposter syndrome because it isn't really like that big of a difference between Tier 2 and Tier 1. Tier 1 is just like they're a lot tighter. They review their games a lot more. But, you know, I was doing really well in Tier 2, so coming to Tier 1, I expected to kind of bring that over, but I had to get over the whole like, oh, I'm against Tier 1 players now. But it's still the same game. It's League of Legends.
That's what I love to hear. I think confidence has been something that I've been excited being able to cover your games a little bit because like the Tier 2 guys have been kind of talking you up as somebody who's always been, I guess, a momentum-based player, someone who's been already really confident in your own play. Describe yourself for the people out there that doesn't know Scary Jerry.
I mean, there's too much to say, but just in terms of League, I mean, I grind really hard. I try really hard. I take this game very seriously. You know, it's what I'm committing like my entire life into. So it's really just about being able to show it to people because I feel like I've been playing decently, but I just still need to cross that threshold into like I'm a very consistent LTA player. I can 1v9 some games, but I think I'm getting there, honestly. I think I've been playing more consistently, and you're going to see a lot more wins from me. Hell yes, and I've been seeing, I would say, incredible gameplay from, like Abadaga had, I feel like, an incredible Yone game. Your players have been, your teammates have been having, I think, solid play overall. There was the sentiment of, we're not translating what we're doing in Scrims to stage. What was the focus coming into this game specifically? Because you guys are the first and only like bottom 4 team that was able to like beat a top 4 team. So just talk through your guys' goal coming into this game. Yeah, I mean, we've been working with our new like assistant coach Ido, and he's provided a lot of structure for us in this team. I mean, in scrims, honestly, the TL, they were the team that we took the most wins over, honestly, so we were a little confident coming into it because of that. But yeah, it is just translating that because we have a lot of really good individual players. Like, we always have lane leads, especially in scrims. So it's just about bringing it onto stage and then just being able to execute in the team fights and stuff, which you've seen, like, we've kind of struggled with, but today we didn't, so yeah. Final question for you. Now, for you guys, you played your last game for the positioning phase. Now you're going to be going into groups. You guys are, I think, already locked in for Group A. But now everything is settled. You guys start from scratch one more time. What is your goal coming into Group A? Honestly, my goal is just to show people that me and Jay, me and Huhi, like, we're the best bot lane in the LTA, if not one of them. Like, we just need to start transitioning these lane leads and start carrying games. But that's my goal. Just show people what I'm made of. I'm gonna beat these bot lanes for sure. Hell yeah! Congratulations one more time. Let me hear it for you. One more time, thank you very much. We're
Oh. Huh? Nature sure is full of wonders.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
spirit knows, may it guide me, for I again will wander far and shape the path to meet again on late horizons. The wind is calling your name, a whisper of the souls who never leave you. Collect your silver tears and pray they disappear tomorrow. Earth and ether to combine. The light it shows, the dark it knows are tethers. Spirits haunt the restless mind, but seek to find we'll meet again. Can't you hear the wind is calling your name, a whisper of the souls who never leave us. Collect your silver tears and pray that we are here tomorrow. The wind is calling my name, a whisper of the souls who never leave me. Collect your silver tears, pray I reappear tomorrow.
What fuels me when enemy mid gap me. When I first played against TRspodI was down 20 CS and got solo kill.
They don't want to give him no opportunity now. JoJo leads the engage, and Quinn is already in the dirt.
I got revenge and we beat C9 in playoff
Playing into the fight, and JoJo's about to get bursted down. Quinn takes him out.
and we made work.
Yet again, the AoE. JoJo combo with Quinn. JoJo is down again. They will turn out the lights on Cloud9 season, and 100 Thieves are going to World.
What fuels you?
Welcome back to the LTA Lounge. Great to hear from what fuels Quid, and 100 Thieves are basically in control of their own destiny in terms of what group they end up in now, because Disguised pulled off the upset, right? So if 100 Thieves,
team.
yeah, the first bottom team to take a game off the top tier team. Congrats to Disguised. And now it means that if 100 Thieves win, they end up going into Group B. And if Shopify wins, 100 Thieves actually end up going into Group A. For those of you who aren't subscribed on Twitch, we'll be back in 1 minute for Champion Select while we go over our predictions for this match. Who you got, Rez?
First of all, subscribe. Second of all,
That
subscribe
too.
to your friends. So
I'm already subscribed.
There,
Maybe
that's
I
done.
can sign you up. Are you subscribed?
I'm not, but I have Twitch Turbo. I'm cheating. I'm cheating, guys. I'm cheating. It is what it is. But if you want to give me...
Hi! Are you staying in Vietnam and want to do custom t-shirt? We might be your solution. I'm Zoom, the owner of Gecko Dark VN, a custom t-shirt company in Vietnam. In overall, if you want to do a custom t-shirt, like if you want to bring a photo, your company logo, a funny quote, or an image you love on the internet, on a t-shirt, a hoodie, a tank top, a polo, or even a mask or tote bag, we are your guys. So there's no minimum quantity. You can even do only one shirt and we can still do it for you. We're based in Ho Chi Minh City and we can deliver your shirt all around Vietnam. Thank you so much for staying with me for all this video. Have a great day and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
Stakes are a little lower for the Thieves, but like they had highlighted, they
I like
can
to
still
pump
move.
up the stakes.
You like to pump up this? Can we get like a bald bet for this one, like without the players knowing? We can just say it, right?
So you're gonna choose a player.
Yep, it's FBI because he's on screen, and let me turn around. Fudge, there we go. He's closest to me.
Okay.
All right. We'll build up that lore at some point here. But again, they highlighted 100 Thieves with Coach Golden Glue can still move around. We do see the spot locked pretty much for Shopify Rebellion, but 100 Thieves can either go in Group A or Group B in that group stage. So depending on which one that they want, there is a lot on the line here for them. But obviously, you're going to want just to get wins on the board. Figure out what works for your team before that group stage, before we get into that fearless drafting best of threes.
Yeah, definitely do. We're basically at the end of some of these testing runs here with some of these best of ones.
This is our last one to see. Every team will have played each other at least once after this game. That's the whole purpose of the positioning phase leading into the group phase. So let's see if Shopify Rebellion can get it back online, because again, similar to Disguised, they have a couple more wins, but they've been close a lot of times. Even against the top teams, they're maintaining gold leads up until around like 25, 30-minute marks. But then there's always these late game moments where they start to fall apart. 100 Thieves, it's actually a little earlier, around the 20-minute mark, where typically they start to struggle. So let's see if they can clean that up. But it's Azir locked in early for the Thieves.
All right. Are we going to get the Ezreal on their other side? Hovering to Lee as the answer into Azir right now. Could be a mid plus 80 carry lock-in or jungle.
We won't have the Vi combo. We see a lot of Vi Talia so far, but since Shopify Rebellion banned away the Vi, maybe it's Nefiri. I don't see Nefiri with the Talia as much. Don't set each other up quite as well, but the Xin Zhao, there we go.
Yeah, very confident on his team fighting on this champion, and it has a lot of good early scrapping, so Contract's definitely a big fan of it. Also, being so popular right now. Let's take a look at the response, though, from River. River had just had an exceptional Nefiri game. Speaking of Nefiri, in their last game versus Lion, and it looks like he wants back on that dog.
Why not? The question is, will he have the hot dog skin?
Yeah, he used it last time. So I would bet yes. And since we're like doing so many bets
we really are. That is like the theme of the day, at least second half here. What do they pair with the Nefiri, though? They got the Azir all ready. They could go for a high prio top lane, probably something in 80 carry. They're hovering a lot of them right now. So what does
I personally like the utility of Ashe, but Ezreal and Varus have just been perma-spammed, perma-picked every time. And they go with the Misfortune instead here. Misfortune, okay, so it does give you, of course, that ability to rotate into mid lane, on one item, control mid lane, use your strut to roam around to the other parts. The ultimate, though, does require some help to use.
Yeah, and right now they don't necessarily have that set up. I think it would come down to a support pick, because Azir, the shuffle kind of. Nefiri doesn't have a big engage tool, and even Xin Zhao has the ability to dodge all that. Ezreal can play out of range. So let's see if FBI can pull off the Misfortune to great effect here, because Shopify Rebellion can now try and draft around it, and importantly also ban around it.
I also think that by not taking Ezreal for yourselves as 100 Thieves, then you give Shopify something that they have really highly prioritized, which is a safe AD carry to let Seos go roam with contracts. this has been one of their biggest weapons that they've used since Seos has joined this team, is slap Seos on Leona or Rel or something like that, and have him go pair with contracts for a lot of those early skirmishes.
And I think that they're set up to do just that. If they ban Nautilus, maybe ban away something like the Alistair themselves here, they can make sure that they get a premier engaged support. To take it away, they still get their top lane counter pick. I'm liking so far what Shopify Rebellion are showing in their draft. It's interesting to see 100 Thieves even banning away some of those support picks.
Well, I mean, the Poppy is a really good denial ban because Nefiri does not like playing into the Poppy, and so that would cause some problems. Azir sometimes has some problems getting a good sweep off. If the Poppy positioning is good, you can block those big plays as well. And we'll see if they throw the Leona in there as well, because the Leona is still standing.
Leona and Alistair are both up. 100 Thieves don't need to ban one of them because they could opt for the other one. Again, I'm looking for a big setup tool for the Misfortune. If you don't get one of those, you could even look at things like Rakan as well as that Engage, but he's a squishier primary Engage tool as opposed to something like that Leona. So they ban away the Alistair. Let's see if Shopify won it.
Ding, ding, ding.
There it is. Okay. Predictions, Kobe. Well done. You got them all locked in.
I mean, he's been spamming Leona, so this one I'll say, yeah, it's pretty easy. He definitely loves this champ, as we can see, and it gives you some long-range engage. The ultimate is always so good into Misfortune, as opposed to some of the other options, just because you can point-click.
Yeah.
And whenever she starts firing off the bullets, it's an easy answer.
And there we go, one in the bucket for me as well. There's the Rakan locked in. They were having other things like the Nico, like the Renata Glass, but instead they do want that more dedicated engage, and they have the blind pick Gnar going into the top lane.
Yep. There's no way you blind pick Riven, even though I would love to see it.
Could you imagine? What would Fudge play into?
I could imagine. Wait, we got Malphite, baby. All right, we got the big rock in the top side for Fudge. Actually,
this is a great Malphite game. I love it. I mean, you're slowing the attack speed of Azir, or the Gnar, the Nefiri. Whew.
Yep, so much attack damage on the enemy team as well, and really good engage tools. You know, lots of stuff here to set up for Talia picks. Leona and Malphite, very long range, good options for themselves, and Misfortune. How many successful ultimates will there be in this game with the Malphite ult and a Leona ult that you're playing against?
It, yeah, you're putting a target on your own back.
Even before you press it, sometimes we're just going to flash on you and use it, so let's see.
I'm imagining the cleanse game from FPI.
Yeah, I'm going to check when the last time we had a Malphite, actually.
Last time we had a Malphite, I would imagine not that long ago, but last time Fudge played Malphite, I don't even know if I can remember a Fudge Malphite game. Notorious in my memory's bad, though, so Kobe's looking it up here. Hopefully we'll have the stats soon as the coaches go give each other the honorary fist bumps and a nice chest bump between Golden Glue and Demonte. We got to gift that one. That was good. I think that Golden Glue severely won that, by the way. I saw Tanner get knocked back a couple of feet, but here we go. We're getting into it. 100 Thieves for Shopify Rebellion.
The last time we had the Malphite was 2023. It was solo. Do you remember Colin?
I do. The first 30-year-old in LCS.
Goes hand in hand. Malphite player.
How old's Fudge? Yeah, I don't think he's close.
Not
to 30.
even close. He's like 22 or something. He said in the Ludwig interview, I believe.
Well, we'll see if his Malphite is any better then. I still, again, love it in the draft. Let's see if it gets a win for Shopify Rebellion. The last game of the positioning phase before groups are locked going into next weekend's best of threes. And a reminder that we have had the upset Kobe. Last game disguised the first of the bottom four to strike the top four teams down.
That's them right there. You can see the one.
That's the one.
That's the one right there. I was here. I witnessed it live.
A lot of us were, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us were.
All the folks in the audience, all the folks at home. Incredible stuff right there. Now, can Shopify Rebellion do it as well is the question. Will that one go to a 2?
Double down. Double or nothing.
Double or
How about that?
Well, I don't think that they would take the one away.
Yeah,
if
you
got
to make an agreement with Disguise. Say, hey, you want a double or nothing
You
with
know,
us?
positioning doesn't change if we change that back to a 0. So,
But they've got the Chad Malphite with Comet here. So comment on your cues on the Gnar for the harassment here for Fudge. There we go. Start out early. You get an instant view, cue, instant comment.
That's an amazing tweet, by the way. Thank you, Brikachu, for that one. Bottom 4 Rebellion. They're going to keep it going.
Double or nothing.
Double. Okay, again, I don't think we have the authority to say that, but for now, I'm going to back you up.
We can say it.
Yeah, true. You know, actually, that's a very accurate statement. We can say a lot of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, eyes are going to be on the Malphite for what it can do late game. I don't expect a lot to happen early game from it.
I'm glad
though,
you
right?
said that, because as soon as you said eyes on Malphite, the observers were listening, and they put the camera on Malphite, so we get to see every shard come out, every comet go.
I was trying to get us away from that lane, oddly enough, because I don't expect action here, but I think maybe if we zoom in more. Actually, if we zoom in closer, the higher the percentage of action happening.
Passive backup, the shielding.
And in fact, I'm actually not expecting a lot of action in any of these lanes. Maybe the bot side, we do see Contracts pathing down that direction, and they do have Leona. That's where they could set up an early gameplay if anybody from 100 Thieves steps out of position.
Yeah, and FBI has taken Cleanse in this game. Try and deal with this Leona. That definitely will be targeting him. Definitely will be annoying to deal with, but does make it a bit difficult there early on. So nice push from Shopify achieved early for those two. And as you said, Contracts is pathing down towards that side.
Yeah, and a reminder that even though I was saying maybe we don't see a lot of action early, these are two high-action teams overall. We do see 100 Thieves. I mean, even just last split, they were the bloodiest in the world. That was a very fun stat we were tracking there. Slowed down a little bit here in split 2, but still a team that likes to make action happen early in the game. So don't fall asleep yet, everybody. I do think that there is a chance.
Okay, I won't. I was planning on it.
Oh, well, I wasn't even talking to you, Kobe. I assumed that you were going to stay awake.
Right.
It'd be impressive if you... There's not even a chair back here.
Little narcolepsy in action. Let's take a look here, though, because 100 Thieves on the push back. And Contracts already went for his recall, so not going to waste any time down here. He recalls after his crab, go back into the full clear, second clear for him up on the top side. Don't expect him, to make a visit towards the top lane. Just keep on farming fully through your second clear.
But Sniper is getting a better trade here. Remember, this was the counter pick. Fudge picked this into the Gnar, so it's always interesting to see when laning phase doesn't go according to plan in situations like that as Malphite trades on the Quid.
It's not meant to early be the counter, though. You're not like be this mega lane bully. You're meant to have a Malphite for later, baby.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Appreciate the context there. You don't think Malphite can solo kill the Gnar? Come on.
I mean, if
He's got the comet.
If you get level 6, and your odds go up.
Yeah, well, we are making a lot of bets, so you want to have those good odds here. As he's actually going to go for the TP bot lane, so early lane rotation. Sniper's walking down, will have teleport advantage.
Let's see if that actually turns into any missed minion waves, because in the last game, it was pretty big with so many swaps that we saw with Disguised and Team Liquid. I actually went back and looked at each and every one during the break.
You did your homework.
The biggest winner, I'll have to say, was Core JJ. Or was Huhi, excuse me. Was Huhi for sure. Huhi created so many CS windows for Castle to get ahead. So much credit to the supports, going for those dives onto the Renekton in the last one. Malphite's a lot harder to dive, but Malphite is also proxying right now for the level 6, and now your odds went up, Kangas.
I mean, Contracts is on the bottom half. I don't expect us to go for an all-in on the Gnar. That seems kind of aggressive, but let's see if he does anything else.
Well, the rewards of going for proxy are that you get the minion wave a lot earlier, so then you get to make moves like this, where the top laner's in the enemy jungle, you can leave behind vision, you can go harass the enemy mid lane or the enemy jungle if they're on that side. You kind of buy yourself these like 30-second windows at a time, since each minion wave spawns every 30 seconds, and so this time...
Not going to amount to anything, but it was a window.
It was a window, and he went on a nice nature walk.
He saw a lot of the Rift. You know, sometimes I like to play those mini games with pros, like where you zoom in, you're like, where's this on the Rift? Fudge is doing his homework for that. Yeah, exactly. But again, even in all seriousness, there was a chance if anybody was out of position, you can find it. As now top lane, talking about out of position, B-Boy gets knocked up, Seo's covering him and takes some damage himself.
And the thing to note, it was the positioning, because it was... Wait a second.
Oh, actually, aggressive play here onto Contracts. Still has the flash available, but River has the level advantage. Only 5 for Contracts, 6 for River. Contracts going down. First blood to 100 Thieves.
Quid and River. No hesitation there.
Has the seismic shove. River does not quite have the levels in the queue to fully lifesteal up, but he does get a big chunk back, and Quid will cover the retreat.
Yeah, look at that. Nice healing on the stacked up Conqueror there. But Quid with the huge play. Zin's out. I always feel like this champion has so many positions where it can get picked off in the early game. And that one isolated there, really heads up play from Quid to just go for it with the Azir sweep onto him. And instant follow from River over the top with the Nefiri ultimate. Benefits of getting these grubs early, man. The extra experience really goes a long way. Level 6 is just so critical, and 100 Thieves, no hesitation, perfect timing for them. Full grub pack plus the first blood.
And no dragon trade on the other side. Contracts on spawn has to go up to the top camps, as Oz had spawned for himself. So there's theoretically going to be more action here on the map. 100 Thieves can go for a reset, spend their gold, get back on the map, and head down towards that bottom objective.
All right. One extra melee goes down first before the reset here, but we're going to have the answer, of course. Now Bvoy and Seos get their recall off. They're going to walk through as well as it pushes back off the crash. And we are going to have a more kind of standard opening for the bottom side jungle fight. I mean, Seos is actually coming out through mid lane, but then again, we're going to get the link up. Support's into the river right now. You see Ayla going there first too, try and get the vision down here around the Drake. The surprise factor is huge.
There's no one behind 100 Thieves, though, so Ayla was alone there. We see Shopify Rebellion kind of grouped up. They have their support hovering mid to help get prio there, as Contracts will clear these final camps on the bottom side. And then they'll have their window to actually make a move. Meanwhile, no teleport for Fudge, so 100 Thieves actually will have teleport advantage if there is a fight around the dragon.
So you can see River's already going for his top camps. So he wants to cycle his regular camps, doesn't want to mess around with any sort of Shopify dragon play as of yet. And we'll see if that continues to be the game plan. But game plan for Fudge, guess what? Malphite, stack armor.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like the Rebels are actually going to pounce on the opportunity. Contracts went for his own reset and is heading back towards the top half of the map from base here. So that dragon will not be touched. I think the 100 Thieves are given a window saying, we just want to prioritize that clear like you were talking about, but Shopify Rebellion aren't getting anything for it.
They're going to prioritize multiple people topside. They even had Quid like half hovering. It was almost going to be 5. Quid is now back to mid lane pushing.
Contract sees River here. Still has call to pack, and now it's used. River trying to get to safety. Knocked up, taken down. Fudge on the board.
Telling you, the counter pick Malphite, the bonus is you got Malphite later then, baby. And that's what you get. The Nefiri W is down, so Fudge fires away. River down. That is revenge for Contracts. He got swept by the enemy solo laner, so then his solo laner hits him with the big Malphite.
And it seemed confusing when you looked at the dragon, but it makes sense now. Contracts read that River was going for the dive. They read that 100 Thieves were trying to make the play topside instead of at the dragon. That's something Contracts has historically been very good at. When he's playing on all cylinders, he can read an enemy jungler like a book, and I think that's an example of that happening. Fudge picking up the kill now, gets the entire wave in. He's going to go for a reset now. Let's see if he's close to an item completed as, 1v1 down here. Sniper versus Palafox. Flash is available for the Taliyah. Might just have to use it here. Sniper with the auto. Wallop misses the boulder toss. Palafox barely gets out of there.
Yeah, Palafox wanted to seismic shove him back towards like tower aggro, but then Sniper is just in his face and almost solos.
We have a teleport coming in here from Quid. The flanking Azir. Malphite's there as well, but does not have the ultimate available. Now here comes Quid. Big shuffle play onto 3 members. Seos trying to buy space, but Bvoy's already down. Contracts trying to fight for his life right now as Palafox does take out Sniper. Sniper's a sacrificial lamb as the dragon goes over to River. 100 Thieves pick up the objective. Fudge is still no ultimate. Flash out of the pit. Shopify Rebellion not getting a lot done for that play.
They get 2 kills, but they lose the dragon. So Shopify do get the extra kill since Palafox was able to come back and Sniper had just used his flash and Palafox used the Taliyah ultimate to get there. If you also count the earlier play, then I guess there's a little advantage, but look at how it started. Fudge was able to get River's W and then plop the blast cone on this side. So River uses ult to get in. Sniper used his flash and his hop to get away from the initial engage from 100 Thieves. Yeah. And that's how Palafox is then able to get a little revenge for himself and actually get the kill chasing him down upon returning with that Taliyah ultimate. So yeah, +1 on the kills, but the objective did go over to River since he stayed in the pit and Contracts went on that little chase around the other side.
And now 1 neutral objective away for 100 Thieves to pick up. that race towards the feats of strength. See if they're able to get there. They've already lost the feats of warfare. That's picked up by Shopify Rebellion, so it'll come down to the turret race and again that neutral objective race.
Okay. Malphite ultimate is up and ready.
Yeah.
We're locked and loaded.
Long cooldown early, but the more items you get, the more points you put into that, the more it'll be up, and right now it could be very impactful.
Yeah, and it really is because he's going Iceborne Rush, so you get some cooldown reduction off your Sheen and some extra burst damage with it, so get more of them, plus they hit harder. Meanwhile, right now though, Malphite walked over. You see the mini-map. Fudge is now walking back to bottom lane. Sniper just annihilated another minion wave out there.
Yeah, River just needs to smite the... Oh, he doesn't get it, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Shopify do get the, grubs here, but do they get out?
Okay, engage in from Ayla. Seo is very tanky on that Leona, one of the benefits of the champion. Hard to pick.
So, Sniper on the Trinity Force, really some extra time with the split push down there. See if that is meaningful as well. He has consistently been split pushing all weekend long with the Jace. And found some success, and now that he does have Trinity Force on Gnar, nice little spike for himself, little advantage there. But Malphite doesn't really care that much, even without the Iceborne completed. Has a decent amount of armor and sustain already with him, with his refillable and his biscuits, and it does just fine.
I mean, you mentioned Sniper in the side lane. He picked up a player of the game even yesterday. A lot of conversation around if he could have gotten it from game 1 of the weekend. He's had a great week 3 so far of the best of 1 stage. A lot of it due to his side lane play, as it's been cleaning up over the year.
Going for
and
the
he's
swap
going to
right
get this
now.
push in. Yeah, Fudge goes for the full back. It's going to be Palafox heading bot side. Has Seos hovering nearby. 2 minutes still Dragon, 2 minutes still Herald, so not a lot to fight over. It's just about pushing these waves in and getting the lane assignments that we want. Quid even gets that top lane all the way shoved in and will now reset to go towards the bot lane, it looks like. He's deciding where he wants to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting, too, as we look forward to the team fights, because it does feel like B-Boy is going to have a lot of freedom in them. Meanwhile, FBI is going to have a very difficult time with this full Shopify dive that you presumably is going to be going straight for him. But Shopify also have the capability of just using that to get picks instead on anyone.
Yeah.
They don't have to, save it for that team fight. They're also very capable of getting picks. Anytime you have Talia and stuff like a Malphite or Leona, those picks can be very, very quick. And right now, they are looking towards getting some bot lane pressure.
Yeah, not going to commit to it, though. The one FBI ult we've seen so far, to your point that you were just making there, it did get canceled, but by contracts, not the one that we necessarily expected. So he's 0 for 1 of full ultimates. Let's see how many he's actually able to get this game. As this is, again, a very, very hard champion to pull off against a composition the Shopify Rebellion have drafted. Now we have 45 seconds for the Dragon, around the same for the Herald. So this is the point where I like to start to highlight who's got better setup. So far, Shopify Rebellion, they got a lot of wards in that bottom river.
They certainly do. And Fudge actually getting whittled down here by the Gnasher's Tooth from Azir.
Not the lane matchup Fudge wants here.
No, Quid is doing a lot.
Oh, but he actually goes for the all-in. Oh, dodges the shuffle! Fudge with the dancing shoes, but oh, he's got his jungler nearby. He gets pounced on instead. Contract's in some trouble. Quid shuffled back. Palafox has joined him, misses the volley, but lands the last one. Shut down to Palafox. Shopify Rebellion pounce on the play.
Yeah, they make a little trap there around Fudge, who starts it all up with the Malphite. 100 Thieves are the ones still getting an extra lane of play, though, with Sniper down here and him having teleport, but they do get their kill onto Quid, and they get the flash from the Azir, too.
Yeah.
Which was like, they continue to reduce the possible threat on B-Boy. B-Boy really looks like he's going to be able to play this game freely. 100 Thieves, though, they're starting up this Rift Herald, and they've got their teleport on Sniper.
Surprising that they're able to do this when Quid had just gotten down.
I mean, there's no Malphite ultimate, so, like, even if he also matched teleports, it would be a big advantage for 100 Thieves, because Sniper has everything, flash, teleport, Gnar ready, so that's why, they're kind of seeding this one over at the moment, and just go for the cross-map play, because you just used a lot of your resources in the fight trying to get Quid, so just go for the trade instead. grab the dragon yourself.
That's feats of strength picked up because that's 3 neutral objectives plus the first turret. Quid's going to get another turret now. So even though it looked nice from Shopify Rebellion to start things off there, in the extended play, I think 100 Thieves are feeling very happy here, Kobe. I mean, Quid's still getting gold in him. Yes, he doesn't have the flash, so we're going to have to watch out for that later. But as we had a replay, Shopify Rebellion overall only get the kill.
Let's take a look here. Goes for the ult on the Azir plus the minion wave. Back steps as soon as he knows he's going to get out of CC. Then Contrast was running straight from the river. This is where it got messy, right? You know, he's running straight for Quid, has to use his ultimate early on, flashed over the wall, and Palfox didn't quite have the angle on the initial threaded volley, but does get the kill there at the end. So they find their secure. The whole time, though, you saw the mini-map. Was Sniper wailing on that bottom side tower.
Trinity Force Gnar.
It's definitely a point that is brought up a lot with Shopify, is that they do commit to side lane plays a lot. And actually, in this case, it was 100 Thieves that, you know, play the extra lane. They didn't call in, you know, the extra players, and Sniper was able to get bot side, plus eventually top side, as you said, when Quid does return. But really, I want to see if the flashless Azir is going to be meaningful.
I want to see if anybody actually commits to this play right now. Not a lot to fight over other than mid turrets, as we're actually teleporting Fudge in, maybe thinking the 100 Thieves were hard committing to the engage. So Shopify Rebellion, we got a bit of an ARAM going on here, the El Clasico.
And immediately you see the response. It's very good from 100 Thieves. They disengage the fight and they send Sniper bottom.
Yeah.
He has teleport advantage now. He can freely split push, and they break out into 1-3-1. This is exactly what you do versus a team that you know wants to group, a team that wants to use a Malphite ultimate, a Leona ultimate on you, and force these fights. You spread into your 1-3-1, use your teleport advantage, and gain some resources that way.
Front to back is much harder to pull off. Hard engaging, much harder to pull off if you're not engaging into the actual team fights. Quid doesn't have the flash, but is able to shuffle out of there. He is just fine. Contract actually might chase him down. One becomes lightning lands, but not going to commit. Now the Herald in the mid lane. This could break open the map for 100 Thieves, as again, they've just done a great job of rotating around the map. And the Weaver's wall is going to land in time. Oh, it does not, but now the engage comes in from Seos. Re-engage from Ayla, and that's the bullet time. Again, canceled this time by FBI. He saw Fudge there, said nope. Not going to give that opportunity. 100 Thieves patiently back off.
Ooh, yeah. Palfox got locked up there as the Rift Herald crashed and rode the wall through. So Palfox had to flash out of that engage from Ayla. Of course, it was a Recon flash as well to kind of force it there. So some resources expended on both sides. And Palfox keeps his bounty alive.
Happy about that one. 2-0 and 0. Not in the death count. And has 2 items completed as well. That's the Ceres plus the Leandri, so this Talia bit of a spike here. Quid from that earlier death and missing some of the waves. Slightly more behind on the build, but also going for a slightly pricier one, I suppose. Darkseal picked up too, so we'll see if anything comes of that one, but Otacon has now spawned. It is voracious, no surprise. Only 6 kills and a slower game than may be expected here, Kobe. When I was looking at these two rosters, these two teams, how they play, both of them had a couple of pretty fast games earlier in the split, but we got a bit of a... what's the opposite of a barn burner? A barn builder?
Yeah, I mean, they at least they still have been going for plays, just not quite as scrappy, I guess. Sure. As you're looking for.
Maybe that's results-based analysis on my end.
Well,
there's not a lot of kills.
The opposite of the barn burner is the barn builder.
Yep, there we go.
So we've got Bob the Builder game.
We're building some barns here.
Regardless,
Shopify versus 100.
regardless, Shopify still are able to get a little bit of a victory there because the top side needed an extra wave pushed in. So they were able to send all the extra resources to finish off the objective of the bottom side turret and get their first turret kill of the game to get that gold swing back a little bit in their favor. And then Palfox still goes up top, catches that wave. That's pushed all the way into secondary.
It's pretty much dead even, but once this mid turret falls for 100 Thieves, it's a matter of if, basically. I mean, it's so low, just 1 or 2 autos from FBI or Quid should take it out, especially Sniper with that Trinity Force. Any member could claim that one. That opens up the map for more potential rotational plays from 100 Thieves. And right now that play is going to be around the Dragon. 30 seconds till it spawns here. Yet again, Shopify, they keep doing this, Kobe. They keep getting the wards down early, getting the setup early, but then we don't see that many like proper fights. We've had the 1 so far, but some of the other times it feels like Dragon is just kind of a distraction for plays elsewhere on the map.
I mean, this one looks pretty good for them since they've got Palfox teleport on top side, as long as Fudge it gets here in time, because Fudge just reset. They have to be careful. Fudge went to go get his Sunfire completed.
Yeah, Sniper also just reset. Has the Black Cleaver completed now, so FBI is going to be doing a little more shred. Same with River, too. Nice for both of those champions. As they're pushing the wave in yet again, 100 Thieves currently control the access point. But again, the engage from Shopify Rebellion cannot be understated. Watch for Fudge. Watch for Seos. If either of these get onto Quid, get onto even River, you can look to blow up the enemy champions very quickly.
So FBI just went for a recall. He was on a control ward, so Shopify didn't see, but they're going to force the issue anyway.
Yeah.
And Misfortune is running here.
River might have to look for the 50-50 steal. FBI now makes it in. The strut passive, very fast movement speed, and now Sniper on a flank. Turret goes down. Shopify Rebellion do get the dragon. Can they get out now? Ayla could look for his own engage. And not much going to happen here. Contracts actually goes in instead onto River. Dodges with Call of the Pack. A Sniper still on the flank. Getting that rage bar up. Knocked away by the blast cone. Fudge has the ultimate, has the flash. They're out of there. Shopify Rebellion. They hit the dragon and they get out.
Interesting because Otacon is also on the side of the map though. So while you get out, getting out gets you away from a bigger objective.
And that was Crescent Guard from Contracts. No ultimates used from 100 Thieves. Even Seos also used Solar Snare, so Shopify Rebellion are going to have to try and find a way in here. Down ultimates in the cooldown. Otacon started, now Seos goes in. That's a bullet time over the top. It's Ayla out of there. Now Fudge with a re-engage. FBI did not get a lot done with that one. The bot lane dies for 100 Thieves. Shopify Rebellion can now fight their way through Quid, but he is holding the line. Quid! 1v3, 1v4 even gets his own kill. Fudge goes down too. It's a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, and the rest of the Shopify members are so low health, they can't continue the scrap. Fudge goes in, but the rest of the team had eaten. Ooh, kind of close. The rest of the team had eaten so much damage from the Misfortune ultimate when they were killing Ayla that they could not follow it up. And yeah, Quid just holds the line.
Yeah, you drop a couple soldiers down, guess, like, bet, come in. I have my shuffle, I have my flash. You cannot get past the Azir.
But we did see that Malphite work.
It did?
The Malphite did work.
It did.
The rest of the team, though, was too low to follow up and make it in past. So they do get their pick on Ayla. It's like CC chain into seismic shove here. Is going to be able to finish off the recon, but
beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of damage done to B-Void there, especially. So two of the Shopify members very, very low, and then Fudge goes in, ballistic missile, and then he kind of goes in even further. Palfox contracts Seos and B-Boy all just get kind of cut off there.
Yeah, I didn't think Malphite can just one-shot me, I guess.
Huh?
You know what?
Yes,
I think 80 carries around the world agree with that sentiment, FBI. I didn't know. I was unaware.
Just need that Iceborne Gauntlet, a little bit extra damage right on top, and got him. But the rest of the team held off by Quid. The Azir doing so much work.
Now River again, Call the Pack, getting him to safety. Very powerful ability on the Neferi, and Shopify Rebellion can't actually get the kill.
In the end, though, Shopify... Wait a second.
Gobi, we're just starting Baron. Shopify Rebellion, they don't actually sniff this out yet. Contracts is still hovering around the area, no wards down, but they think something's up. Seos will spot it. Drops a control ward over the wall. Fudge has the ultimate available, so 100 Thieves need to play very respectfully. Sniper is not there and actually just went Mega in the mini-map you see on the side. Teleport in from Palafox. I think Shopify Rebellion realized no Mega Gnar. This is our time to go. Seos with the engage onto Ayla, taking a lot of damage himself, and now Fudge goes in. Flash from Quid, repositions on the Azir. Bullet time over the top again. Shuffle back Contracts. Shopify Rebellion's frontline's taking a lot of damage. Sniper going further in. It's a Quid show, and we're all blessed to watch it. What a wall from Sniper. Gets the stun with Dross coming through. Shopify Rebellion are still surviving though, and B-Boy with the snipe. Everyone from 100 Thieves falls. They lose the Otacon buff. Shopify Rebellion, they're still alive.
They go for the fight and they wipe off the revivals from 100 Thieves. Here's another look at the timing on it. So, as you say, they start the teleport early. Palafox is coming in already. Then the Gnar channel starts now. So Seos starts the fight. They got both carries from 100 Thieves right next to each other with the Leona ult. And Fudge goes in to follow it up, getting one of the flashes back. That opens up enough room. They barely scrap. with all that damage that that Quid was putting out there back on Baron.
Okay, we're back on Baron. No Malphite ultimate. He's not even nearby, so it looks like it's just going to go over to the Thieves. Secured by River. Shopify Rebellion had no jungler, no top laner. And 100 Thieves with the Otacon recall were able to get back on the map faster. They pick up Baron.
That is the bonus. It's always the timing windows of these withdrawals, these revivals.
Yep. It feels like Shopify Rebellion won that fight, but because of how the Otacon went earlier, it's actually 100 Thieves, despite technically getting wiped, have the tempo play.
That's why you go to start Baron always when you have the Otacon revival, because it turns it into a bit of a win-win situation for you. And they're able to utilize it very effectively. Now, with the Baron buff, they actually call Sniper on over, so they're going to group. He doesn't have his teleport, so nobody on 100 Thieves has the ability to kind of really split away, since Leon and Malphite can usually just force on you.
And at this point, it's really tough for Shopify Rebellion to fight for the dragon. No flashes on a single member. Fudge is coming up here shortly, but 100 Thieves currently just have an advantage if it comes to the team fight, unless Fudge gets a really big engage, and he is actually positioning for it. In comes Contracts. Shopify Rebellion, it looks like now they're on the same page. They couldn't tell if they wanted to go in or out, and 100 Thieves will get the dragon. And Shopify Rebellion don't get much done on the map to counter it.
Yeah, they're just kind of staring them down there, unsure if they're going to have an opening to actually go in for the fight, and they do not. 100 Thieves. See about the 1-4 at the moment to push on in with Baron buff. Shopify just camping.
And 100 Thieves are actually trying to siege this bottom side right now. Shopify Rebellion are maybe looking for somebody out of position, but the Thieves are not giving them that opportunity, as they will push that wave in, start hitting the turret, and mid lane also very low here. So they're about to take potentially 2 with this Red Bull Baron power play.
Yeah, hard to take down these buffed up siege minions, and Sniper gets his in mid lane, continues on up. The rest of them slowly whittling away at the bottom side.
This is around that same time the Shopify Rebellion, they start to, question what they want to do. Do we want to contest Dragon or not? Do we want to engage bot turret or not? We give mid turret now. Sniper might have the flank here and engage under turret for 100 Thieves. Sayo's taking a lot of damage. River buying space, but it's actually Sniper that goes down. 1 for 2 trades so far. 100 Thieves trading up. They got both bot laners of Shopify Rebellion and only lose their top laner.
The focus there they had onto B-Voy. Ayla and FBI started out with the Rakan and Misfortune combo to get the decent chunk of damage with their ultis, and then River just flashes in for the point blank on the ultimate right in B-Voy's face. And they're able to take down the enemy threat there before getting right back out alive. So here's another look at it. They're looking at B-Boy right now. Then Ayla and FBI are going to make the call. Even though Sniper is going mini right now, they get the full combo here through barrier for B-Boy, so they get him to have health. And then River W's through the team and flashes to point blank that ultimate B-Boy and gets his Q pass through there as well.
Yeah.
Although meanwhile, Quid here on the Azir just pumping away.
Snipes.
I was looking at their play onto Ezreal, but Sniper.
I love the sip of water. He's like, he doesn't need to say words. Just take a sip. Yep.
He just went
He knows. They know. We know. It's okay. Yeah, that was an unfortunate timing. If he's Mega right there, much different play. Maybe 100 Thieves can even take that inhibitor down. But as it is, it's still a lead for the Thieves. 5,000 up. As we're starting to set up control over this top river for Shopify Rebellion. They got to fight up a hill here to come back in this one.
I mean, and Sniper himself right back out to split pushing, level 16 on the Gnar with his 3 items. So 100 Thieves once again retake control of the map, push it out afterwards. And Shopify, I mean, they did finish the death cap onto Palafox, so you do have a lot of burst potential behind one of these picks. But you have to get one of these meaningful picks and like CC full combo somebody.
Yeah.
You do have some burst potential here. We'll see.
We haven't seen that big full wombo combo pulled off for Shopify Rebellion, and that goes back to your point earlier, Kobe. 100 Thieves aren't really giving them that opportunity. They're playing around the map. They're dragging Shopify around and just tussling with them in a way that is not satisfying for Shopify to like full commit, because if they full commit, they're losing mid turret, or if they full commit mid, they're losing bot turret. Like, it doesn't feel like there's an ideal situation for Shopify Rebellion based on how 100 Thieves are playing the map.
Also, credit where credit is due. FBI has got off some good ults. Quid under attack.
Okay, this could be the pick for Shopify Rebellion. Right as you were saying it, Shopify find it. Quid will eventually go down. 100 Thieves are pushing mid and bot for this, but Shopify Rebellion, that is something on the board for them.
Yep, they full send on a side lane because they don't want to, well, they're still going to lose a lot. They're going to lose the open door in mid. Sniper's about to get right. Oh, they're teleporting in to try and trap them.
Oh, okay. Is this the entire move for Shopify Rebellion? This could be the game-determining play. Fudge is in there. He has the ultimate available. If he can lock down River, lock down Ayla, maybe get onto FBI here, and the rest of Shopify follow up, it could mean good news for the Rebels. Right now, it's just Ayla trying to play bodyguard for the rest of the team. Shopify Rebellion can't get everybody in there. They are losing their waves. This has to work. They engage onto Ayla. Can't even kill the Rakan. 100 Thieves get out of there. Sniper now engaged. He's about to hit Mega. Pulled back bullet time. Everyone's got to scatter from the Rebels. They kill Sniper. And now they got to back off. That's another on the board for Shopify.
The burst there. They get it on the re-engage. Seos sets up Palafox. And the death cap damage is enough. They full burst Sniper before he can transform. They get their kill, and the base is open. And the base is actually losing the inhibitor to minions too.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough. You get the kill, but you had no pressure mid or bot.
But you kind of need to open up, windows like this, because now there's another death timer on Sniper. So even though Sniper has teleport, maybe Shopify can do something here.
Oh, this is
20
spotted.
seconds.
They have a ward on the Baron, so they know that River's there. Shopify Rebellion can now try and make a pincer move onto him. Fudge has his ultimate again. Level 16. That thing's very short cooldown at this point.
Sniper has teleport, so yeah, their timer's running out. Sniper's back up in 5 seconds.
Okay, and they didn't even burn like big summoner spells. Ayla's flash is about to come up. FBI has summoner spells. Quid has summoner spells. And 100 Thieves, they're right back on the Baron. They know they have the gold lead. They feel like they can take this fight. Let's see if Shopify Rebellion can do anything here.
It's like Palafox was looking for an ult towards Misfortune, but FBI is going to take the safe route over anyway. Now Ayla deep in enemy territory. You see the Rakan positioning behind Shopify.
Ooh, he's deep in enemy territory. The Thief is spotted, and Ayla gets out of there. Not going to commit for the Baron, as now the Rebels are trying to control this mid side. They lose the inhibitor. It's super minions pushing in, but as long as they keep people here, they still can, prevent that from being a win condition for the Thieves. It's going to come down to these objective fights, and I still think that if the Rebels find the right fight, this comp is terrifying if they can just lock people down and get that damage in.
Yeah, they have a harder time, handling all the side lanes here and split pushing, and so. Well, actually, they do check the dragon at least. It was about to be River kind of jumping in there. River was thinking maybe I can sneak this dragon, jump over the back, but Shopify wielding the Malphite and the Leona. They come over, they push them off, they start up themselves. Thieves go back to the Baron side.
Yeah, they just want this Baron. This is when they're called the entire time, and now the Rebels have to answer. Again, they're off the dragon. Nobody's looking at side lanes. Everyone's about mid, and now these objectives. Engage comes in from Seos, does not land the stun onto Quid. So it flares down. Fudge has got to be the hero for the Rebels. Contracts in the pit. It could come to a 50-50 if the Rebels don't have their engage. Now Contract stunned into the wall, and that's River with the Baron engage from Ayla. Fudge goes solo onto Quid, who's able to get out of there just fine. Double flash response. He's into the stasis. The Thieves are running the fight. Get the Baron, get the fight afterwards. The Thieves are looking to close this one out. 12-9 on the scoreboard. Palafox in full retreat mode. No flash available. River continues the chase. Quid looks for the ace right there. And the Thieves have done it, finishing their final game of the positioning phase.
Great force there from the Thieves.
Played well. Big.
You're so useless, man.
This champ is rare. It's pretty good, Reeves.
And there you have it, Kobe. The Thieves clean it up. It was a slow burner. We built the barn, notably places where Rebels and Thieves like to hang out, but this time it's the Thieves that get the lease.
Nice one from them. River again on this Nefiri, doing a lot of work for them. Honestly, too, way more successful Misfortune ults than we were expecting in that game. A lot of damage dealt with it, covering a lot of entrances from Shopify.
And the Thieves will take their bow, their final win of the positioning phase. Best of ones are over. Best of threes begin next week as we get our attention now to the group stage. but ending on a win is, again, it's going to feel much better for a team. I feel like Shopify Rebellion are still a team that has made it close with a couple of the top teams, but they haven't been able to break through. It's only Disguised, Kobe, that have taken a game of a top 4 team.
I was here.
Where were you, everybody at home? Make sure to message us on social platforms. But the Rebels, again, still a slower start to their split, too. They're going to be looking at, cleaning up some of those mid-late game plays as we get to the group stage. But we're joining Azale and River on stage for an interview.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, River. 3-0 weekend. You guys just won. How are you feeling about the split so far?
To be honest, our scrims not going well. So like I was worried about like this week, but like I think we played well this week, so I'm happy.
What is it about the 100 Thieves scrims versus stage? Because every time it feels like when we're interviewing pros, like, yeah, 100 Thieves not that good. We always beat them in scrims. It's so easy. But then you guys are always doing well in stage. In split 1, you made it all the way to finals. Here, you're finishing in 3rd now, and you had a really good last week. So what is it about stage games that makes you guys do so well?
Usually our team is like stage team, even last year too. But in scrims, I think I inted a lot, so that's why we lost scrims a lot. So maybe I need focus up in scrims.
So it's jungle diff in scrims, but it's jungle diff the other way on stage.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
So next week you're going to be playing against FlyQuest, and it will be the best of 3s then starting. How are you feeling about your match against them?
I think FlyQuest is really good team, like one of the best team now. But we beat them last split, so I think we can win. Yeah.
Cool. Well, congratulations. Thank you very much for the interview, and best of luck in the group stage next week.
Welcome back to the LTA Lounge. That was great. I always love hearing from River because he is so, if you guys don't know, he's quiet, but he has a really funny, trolly kind of personality that I'm glad we got to see some of on stage in that Azale interview.
I got that from the Shaco game, I think.
Yeah. Or the time he and Quid walked up and did a meet and greet with us.
Oh, yeah.
They had us sign a bunch of stuff, and then they walked away, and they were giggling the entire time.
What are they laughing at?
Yeah, still don't know what that was about.
Yep.
But let's take a look at today's players of the game. There are multiples.
There's a bunch of them. Anything that's catching your eye?
I'm not going to do the thing that
You're not
do.
gonna do
You're
it?
like, yeah, sure, a lot of junglers
nothing
here.
like that?
But shout out to Huhi. I'm going to say, that Disguised win was so crucial for them, and I thought his Nico engages especially made such a huge difference in their team fights.
It really did. I mean, they all came together for that one. For me, I voted Abadaga because his Yone was actually insane that game. But Huhi's, Nico's engages were sick. I think it was basically everybody on that team really coming together to take down Team Liquid. So positioning phase is one aspect of it. Group stage is a completely new ball game, so it's going to be great to see Disguise, I think, going on a new, showing a new face.
Yeah.
Blabber just dominated. River had a really sick one, but we all know a lot about that. Bwipo's always fun. Bwipo's always fun because, you don't know what he's gonna pick, but you know he's gonna dominate lane.
Yeah.
So that's always a treat.
I would also want to shout out Blabber. I thought he had just an absolutely insane early game against Lion. Really kept them on the back foot, and they took over. Let's take a look at who is winning in the POG. Yesterday it was Inspired.
And they're still Inspired.
Bwipo's catching up to him.
There's competition within the team.
And then River's there too.
Yes, you're right. Actually, it's a 3-way tie for first place. So basically, he can see turmoil within FlyQuest, Inspired, and Bwipo beating each other up, while he's just all right, guys, I'm just gonna take the next POG. I'm just vibing here.
Yeah. Maybe they'll battle it out. Who knows?
True.
I just love how River is just creeping up in there. It's FlyQuest and then River. Especially since you got into a little fight on Twitter the other day about that with Sniper, and then Spooks jumped in. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I have another joke I can make about that look, but it's all good.
Let's take a look at the schedule and the standings, because guess what, Raz?
What?
We're finally out of best of ones. Woo! We're going to best of 3s next week. We finally have our groups, so let's take a look at them. If You guys didn't see us going over who ended up in these groups. Group A is Cloud9 Kia, Team Liquid Honda, Lion, and Disguise. Meanwhile, Group B will be FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, Shopify, and Dignitas.
I definitely think the competition within Group B is a lot more, it's there. Dignitas looked like they were definitely getting it together this week for sure. And I want to see that rematch between them and 100 Thieves with how close that series was or game was. So which